Live.
All right.
Hail.
Hail the fourth wave. Hail the chat. Welcome to another edition of the fourth wave. We are here on Bear Nerd Fun's channel.
Hail.
Hail. And thank everybody for being here. Sporky News Podcast has some sick family members he has to take care of, so he's not going to be able to be here. And Immortal Coil is stuck in traffic, which is no excuse because he should be running home to be on the fourth wave, but it's okay. We forgive you. So tonight we have CJH with us. How you doing, CJH?
Hey, how you doing,
how
CJ?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Doing pretty good up here in Canada.
Awesome. And we have the hardest working mob in the Fandom Menace, Tommy.
Hail.
Let's get ready to stumble. There's going to be some stupidity being dropped, I'm sure.
And of course, we have our one and only, our transient host, and also our resident J.J. Abrams, Final Death Star.
I just can't wait to start working on my new DC series.
Yes, and what plans do you have for Superman, JJ?
I plan to turn him into a girl, but it won't be Supergirl. It'll be a trans superhero, trans Superman woman.
Will there be cholesterol involved in that?
Will there be cholesterol levels involved in that?
It's
yes.
Kind of
his cholesterol levels will be skyrocketing.
It's a trans fat joke.
Hail the trans fat. Bear, my brother, you are the king. This is your channel, my friend. So what would you like to get into, sir?
Well, we can, there was an article that you were mentioning. Do you want to go over that or go over the data racer?
Well, let's go over, I think everybody pretty much, except for Final, hasn't read the article yet, but we can skim over the topical conversation of it. Let's start on Data Racer because that article came at a few people in the Fandom Menace that would include mentions of stealing Solo from Jeff Hicks, saying that it was an alt-right comic meant to insult The Last Jedi, completely ignoring any facts of the matter that comic was actually in reaction to The Force Awakens. And if anyone doesn't know, world-class bullshitters and people like Midnight's Edge were well ahead of the curve when it came to, seeing the trend that was coming out of Hollywood and what the implications of the events of The Force Awakens meant. And also mentioned yours truly, without mentioning me, the Fandom Menace volumes. And also, I guess I'm alt-right, I guess. And it also...
goddamn incel is what you are.
Damn it! Hit me! Punch myself in the penis.
Does that come with the insulitis or something like that?
I have no idea.
You don't want to catch the insulitis.
They do have shots for that.
You would have to actually have sex, engage in sexual congress to catch an STD. So I am very clean.
Well, yeah. Those people that have insulitis, they may think the vaccination is a nail through a 2x4 and stepping on it.
Oh,
more than likely.
Why don't we take a look at the Data Racer? Because Data Racer, he's a wonderful member of our community. He goes into the Twitter trenches. He deals with SJWs on a daily basis and manages not to go insane reading these things and collects all this data for us. And he was accused of putting together a fake a harassment campaign on J.J. Abrams, faking that the Raylos and some of the toxic people over there in the Lucasfilm, the Disney Lucasfilm fandom, were sending death threats and various other garbage at J.J. Abrams because they were upset with the direction of Star Wars 9, and somehow Bethany thought that this was a hoax created by Data Racer and that we, the Fandom Menace, were responsible for it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Of course we were.
No.
It's like Data Racer.
We're responsible for every bad thing that happens in Star Wars and all of entertainment in general at this point.
Guess what? That bump in the night, they blamed us.
Phantom Menace.
Yep. Oh, that mysterious noise. That mysterious noise, that creak under the bed. Yeah, they blamed us.
Fandom Menace coming to get
It was
you.
my fault, gentlemen. It was my fault. I am going to take the blame for this. In the middle of the night, I had sent out a squadron of guinea pigs that bit a bunch of toes and wound up getting him fired. It's totally my fault. I should be ashamed.
Be ashamed. Very ashamed.
Lots of shame. Oh my goodness, the shame.
So yeah,
The squeaking wasn't the bed bear. It was the guinea pigs underneath the bed.
Well, personally, I thought it was when someone passed gas or something.
was there another tweet above this one, there?
This was a reply. He was replying to this right here.
Bethany Lucia. Yes, this is the
There was
person who wrote
multiple
the
replies. And Data Racer says, Bethany, I used to think you were a vicious liar. Now I'm convinced you're just extremely foolish, and I feel sorry for you. Here are tweets from SJW Star Wars Fandom calling out their own folks harassing JJ prior to my post. This is the second time you've outright lied, WAPO, and it's sad.
And what is that? What is that? The Washington Post. Can you click on that one? Can we enlarge that? That picture?
Say again?
The Washington Post clip right there, the Data Racer had posted. Can we enlarge that?
Yeah,
Can you
that
read
is, I believe I still have that. Up. Where are you?
Yeah, that's a part of the, that was the claim in the article, I
Right.
believe.
Right.
Fandom Menace account manufactured a hoax claiming Raylos were sending death threats to the Rise of Skywalker director. Raylo was a fan of the controversial romance between the Rise of Skywalker protagonist Rey and Ben Solo. Ben Solo. BuzzFeed oh God, I can't say that word.
Credulously.
Thank you. Reported the claim. Now, I do believe that BuzzFeed article was debunked. The one that she's referring to. So there's that. There are other videos on YouTube. I'm sure you can check out. The one that I remember was from Yellow Flash. Go check out Yellow Flash. He did a great video on this article.
This was the article right here.
My goodness.
You're
Star
all
Wars.
right, Final.
Yeah,
I guess I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't satisfy.
and
The movie didn't
guess-
satisfy.
guess what?
Right. And I'm
Guess
from
what?
Canada.
They say that we're white racists.
course they do.
I'm only half.
Yeah, the problem
Half
is
something else.
You're all just a bunch of Trump loving freaks, and that really is what this all boils down to.
Wait, so is this article
Wow.
saying that the movie appeased the far right?
Yes.
Yes,
They're saying
exactly.
that this article is basically completely politicizing everything from the perspective of someone who you can infer from the article is a leftist, and she's trying to say that it was alt-right versus the left, which is just erroneous.
So if she's saying
base-
Fandom Menace
base-
is alt-right, then
basically,
but the Fandom Menace doesn't like this movie.
Basically, she's turning it into a left-right politics thing. That's what.
Right. But I don't get how she's saying that this is appeasing. The Fandom Menace is all alt-right, right? And then this movie appeases them, but the Fandom Menace doesn't like this movie.
She couldn't be more fucking wrong,
I guess I'm
I don't know. The
American
whole thing
now,
sounds
guys.
very colonious to me.
Despite
Yeah,
I
all
don't
of this,
understand how you.
Start talking like an American.
CGH, you're a Trump supporter, goddammit. All right, you have to accept it. And Trump
Yeah, that's
supporters are
crazy.
alt-right.
I don't get that. I don't understand.
Hashtag the
Understand
Canadian
how they
bacon
say.
connection.
I'm sorry, Final. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It's saying that this movie, the Rise of Skywalker, right, appeases the far right, and the far right is the Phantom Menace, but yet the Phantom Menace doesn't like this movie. So even in her theory, that's what she's saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make. I mean, regardless of the fact that it's like erroneous and crazy, it doesn't even make sense within the scope of her article, because the Phantom Menace for the most part does not like this movie. So how is it appeasing
Oh,
the
and,
Phantom Menace at all?
There's one section of this article that says the most visible Star Wars fan media is made by white men. For example, until 2018, the Star Wars website included links to fan podcasts, which I collected for past research. Yeah, they do research. I wonder if it's
Research.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
38
research.
38 of 56 shows made male hosts. Only one had a person of color as a host. Oh, I don't know where the
A
fuck she's been looking.
POC.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck
Apparently,
she's been
she
looking,
hasn't
you know?
checked out the Dark Council
Mm-mm.
or
Oh, no.
any
Black-
of the fine gentlemen in the Fandom Menace.
No, black men
Or-
don't exist, Final, in the Fandom Menace. Black men-
Abunas,
Not. Yeah,
Young
doesn't
Ripa,
exist.
you know?
It's all a mass hallucination.
It's all green screen.
Green screen.
Oh, yeah.
CGI.
Green
I mean,
screen.
It is to me the epitome. I mean, of racism and sexism, not to accept or acknowledge the vast amount of women that we have in the Fandom Menace and people of color, black guys, people from other countries. It's like
Even that term is kind of
it's
odd.
racist.
Yeah.
So you're lumping anyone who isn't descendant of Europeans, and Europeans come in a vast array of shades too, my friends, and you lump them all into one color. You say they're white, and then you take everyone else in the world and lump them into one group, like it's one faction of the world versus another. That's racist in itself. All right, there are Puerto Ricans that don't like Mexicans. You know what I mean? Like, and they're Spanish-speaking people, about the same tone within the same tones, shades of skin color. Like, there's plenty of examples all over the world of different types of people, different groups of people from different backgrounds who may share similar shades that don't like each other. And but they don't care. They just lump everyone together as a POC. You cannot uniform everyone on this planet. We are various different types of people. We are various shades. We are various cultures, various backgrounds. You can't. That's racist in itself. I mean,
fuck yeah.
Well, Steven, what they need to do is they need to put everybody into a box. And once they got everybody into a box, they're a little bit easier to deal with.
It's insane. You're dumbing down the vast array
They
of
want
people.
everyone to fight. Is what it is.
This one's gonna get you in the boo-boo. This is by Katie McCord. And good soldiers follow orders, mind control, indoctrination, a loss of self in the Star Wars saga, and what that means for balance of the Force in The Rise of Skywalker. In other words, let's see here. I found this article, and basically nothing really is basically brainwashing, mental manipulation. I'm going to do a word search. I wonder if they have alt-right in this article.
Well, she said
in a
out of
moment,
the 56 people that she said she looked at, the major or mass media or whatever she said, she did her research. Where was that coming from? Is that coming from streamers, or is that just like, that Star Wars show, Collider? Like, where is she taking her sample from? It doesn't say, does it?
Not really, no.
In that previous article.
Oh, that one, yeah. Actually,
she said she looked at 56, different media, but what is she referring to?
let me see. This was
I think it's this article.
analysis. Bethany Lucina. She is the so-called associate professor at the Department of Political Science, University of Rochester. That's who we're talking about. And basically, it's been. I did some searching and all that. We talked about this last time, but this person's like blowing up apparently. Basically, there's another one in that she did. Who hates Star Wars for its newfound diversity? Here are the numbers, and it just freaking divisive claptrap is all that she writes. Divisive, divide. And that's all this shit is, and it's political fucking pandering. And it's like I don't do politics on my channel. I know you guys don't do it. I don't give a shit about fucking politics, and I want them out of my fucking stories. I want them out of my mythoses, And people like this, man, fucking loony ass fucking people, got to put this shit out there and accuse this and accuse that, and it's like, you know what? Keep pointing the fucking finger. They're gonna have 10 people pointing the finger at you. So there's this other article, yeah, by the same person, Washington Post. So yeah, this person is vitriol, you know.
I am
Yeah, that is really really crazy.
Yeah, and it's the same person that wrote this article here. And
yes, and they are connected, and actually referenced it. The woman,
same
Lucia.
woman wrote this.
What's the title there?
Who hates Star Wars for its newfound diversity? He had the numbers. Yeah. I got a number for you. It's called a bird flying at you. Okay, there we go. Birdies flying. You know,
it's always had diversity.
I'm going to.
Oh, you know.
I'm going to share a screen real quick, actually, and I need to give credit where credit is due. My good friend Ichi Baka, who is also writing a book. He is writing a book called Disney Star Wars is Dumb. He also has a blog site by the same name. Please go to Indiegogo. I have already secured my copy and back. Disney Star Wars is done by Ichibaka, support independent creators. He came out with this article on January 19th, 2020. Said, Reylos persecuted. Misandrous SJW feminists appear to be organizing a coordinated attack on the Fandom Menace, and Twitter user DataRacer117 in particular. Recently, a series of articles have been published defending Reylos that attack the Fandom Menace. This, of course, means that SJWs are now the defensive, so this is a positive development for the Fandom Menace. There's a good chance we'll be seeing more of these in defense of Reylos types of articles in the near future. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'd like you guys to go to Disney Star Wars is Dumb and check this out. But he connects several different of these articles, including the last two we were just speaking about. This first article was written by Lindsay Romaine. Readers of this blog may remember Lindsay as the contributing editor of The Nerdist, who found that The Last Jedi made her horny and announced it publicly on Twitter.
Oh, jeez. What's up, Tyler?
Star Wars author and nutcase Tricia Barr pointed to Lindsay Romaine as evidence of racism in the Reylo community. She published the following piece on The Nerdist on January 10th, and it's titled Why Reylos Are a Bright Spot in the Star Wars Fandom. But Reylos aren't deserving of the intense condemnation that comes from larger voices in the fandom. The ridicule feels specific and exclusionary and rooted in gatekeeping sexism. Comparing them to the Fandom Menace is ridiculous, a group that creates blogs dedicated to roasting journalists, creators, and fans. Meanwhile, the Reylo community, along with Ben Solo fans, poured much of their frustration and sadness over the rise of Skywalker into an act of good by raising money for Adam Driver's charity, Arts and Armed Forces. How much money? As if the writing $76,000 has been donated to charity. And that's great. That's a wonderful thing. I'm glad to see people coming together and donating to charity. The reason I bring up this article is because, let's continue on. Well, the reason that this ridicule feels specific and exclusionary is rooted in gatekeeping sexism to uneducated SJWs. It is that they refuse to acknowledge the existence of the female fandom menacers, such as Mecha Random 42, that Star Wars girl, Darth Barbie, and Alora Baga. Hail, OG Star Wars. What's also amusing is that while these articles all point out and mentioning the Adam Driver charity in an effort to depict Reylos as heroic, not one mentions the charity that critical fans donated to, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, in honor of Carrie Fisher, the female lead from the original trilogy, nor do they mention the Geeks and Gamers El Salvador project. They can't, because mentioning those would disrupt the moronic narrative that they are pointing out to craft. Then the next article on January 11th by Ladies Reviews, Female Toxicity and the New Hopeful Generation of Star Wars Fans. She goes on to say, some people started a campaign against John Boyega to boycott the movie because of his character Finn has a main role in the sequel trilogy. They were racist towards him and harassed him before the movie was out. Who in the Fandom Menace has a problem with John Boyega?
Especially now. I mean, he's more of a hero than anyone.
We've been saying that we would have loved to see a Jedi.
A problem with them? The Reylos and the SJWs.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Reylo is the problem of bad writing, because when you have a character that's supposed to be the villain but is so wishy-washy, everyone wants a love story, some kind of love story in their movies, right? The major audiences, most people want some kind of love story. Yeah. And you had one with Rey and Finn, but because of bad writing, they made Kylo this, weakling kind of villain who was not evil, not good. He's somewhere in between, and they just built this kind of sick little romance between him and Ray, when the real romance should have been Ray and Finn. I mean, that's
Yeah.
That should have been the story. He should have been a Jedi. He should have been Force sensitive in training. It would have made for just a much better romance. So you could put that in the movie, and it's not so freaking sick, But they didn't do that because it's bad writing. Because they wanted to keep this kind of, sort of Twilighty sort of to appease a group of people that's
and they wanted to
I know,
appease
and then we've got the Raylo
China
thing because of it.
as well.
Well, I think Thomas Gilkey says it pretty right on the money. He feels that the actors in the movie were good actors, but the writing was garbage. Absolutely, I agree. The writing was definitely garbage.
Yeah,
the
love story should
way
have
they
been
were
Finn
going,
and Ray.
if they wanted to make it more interesting, they should have just brought one of those stupid romance novelists in and wrote it that way, because it probably would have been more interesting, quite honestly.
Or imagine continuing the love story between Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, the Solo twins, and all the children they had. That wonderful romance of between Han Solo and Princess Leia. There were plenty of romances. There are plenty of love stories that could have been continued on. And
but they never can do marriage. Come on, man. Disney has to take every redhead out of their movies, man. And they got to be race swapped and everything, because that's how Disney does it. There's no way they could have did it like the EU.
This article continues. The attacks didn't stop after the first movie of the sequel trilogy came out. In fact, it reached its peak with the release of The Last Jedi. Almost everyone recalls the infamous female absent version being spread online. That was funny. But a fan continues. Later, a group of people who call themselves the Fandom Menace turned their outrage mainly against Kelly Marie Tran, but also Daisy Ridley, Kathleen Kennedy, and again joined John Boyega. After the release of The Last Jedi, started a movement called No More Force Diversity, targeting women in POC and Star Wars specifically. What? I never even heard of that. No More Force Diversity.
No, I haven't heard that either.
Never even heard of that. Okay.
It sounds like a very noble cause, and we should probably all support it.
You're sounding alt-right. You're sounding very toxic, Tommy. Let's see. Literally, no one protested the existence of a female protagonist as a lead. These older Star Wars fans had been fans of franchises such as Aliens and Terminator. They've been fans of IPs that had prominent female leads for decades. From them, to suddenly hate the notion of a female lead is utterly preposterous.
See, that's the thing. I mean, she just like contradicts her own whole argument right there. We were all fans of these franchises that have strong female leads. So for all of a sudden, for us to turn, it must not be the fact that it's a female lead.
Yeah.
It's got to be something else.
Yep.
God, could it be the writing? Yeah. She just she answered her own question right there.
I really don't know what you've been reading, Final, but obviously all these characters were all males, and there was no females in there. It was all toxicity, and where you're coming up with these female characters from, I really don't know. You obviously
delusions.
You've been hitting that soup, brother. You've been hitting that soup.
Oh my God, it's crazy. The purely imaginary Black Stormtrooper controversy that the article makes reference to in regards to John Boyega has been discredited with a scholarly article that SJW steadfastly refused to report on. And I will just read the highlighted diverse community of POC women, LGBT plus labeled Jewish and Muslim people, among others, who dealt with harassment in real life online before, made a collection of fan art, cosplay pictures, and fan letters into a scrapbook and gave it to Kelly Marie Tran. Like, I have no problem with Kelly. I have no problem with any of this narrative that's being spun. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I mean, this is why I didn't read this article. It's hard to even. I can't even take it seriously. Like, she contradicts herself. She answers her own questions. It comes to no logical conclusions. It's just hard to even take this in, like, with a serious, like, oh God.
Well, these are articles that haven't even really been reported on Final. These are things that were like just going around SJW circles. The Katie McCourt article that I reported on and several others did, and the Washington Post article are only the latest two. This is actually a coordinated effort that Data Racer puts together for us.
Well, this effort's not getting much traction because, I mean, I haven't even read any of these or even heard about any of these or even know what they're talking about. No force diversity?
It's called They're Full of Claptrap. Yep.
Yeah. You, I would definitely say.
Also, a little tidbit I found on Reddit. This might be why they're kind of nervous and why media people are starting to attack the Phantom Menace. I found this in Reddit under r/Star Wars leaks. Disney has scheduled an investor call to 4th February. We're probably getting the 2022 movie's director writer announcement there. Just that little tidbit on Reddit that I found. Interesting. Could be why they're nervous.
Maybe.
If investors are getting together to talk about this shit, they might be tired of the bullshit.
I'm just going to jump to the end of this article because I really want people to go read this. It's very informative. Support Ichibaka. Go check out this blog. Share it around.
They're tired of the fraud as well.
Yeah. So toward the end of the article, and he shows you the connections between all of these different writers and that there is now a coordinated effort. Kind of reminds me of Gamergate and the coordinated effort against the gaming community at that time. And here he says, one Raylo jumped on stage on an Adam Driver Broadway play and had to be hauled off by police. Raylo's doxed Adam Driver. One Raylo had sexual assault. One Raylo may have sexually assaulted an actor playing Kylo Ren at Disneyland. Raylo's viciously assaulted Daisy Ridley after discovering the nature of her privilege. Raylo's harassed Daisy Ridley for bringing her boyfriend on set. Raylo's bullied the Netflix Twitter actor into deleting a harmless joke about Raylo's. Raylo's viciously assaulted Mark Hamill on Twitter. Raylo's harassed Star Wars author E.K. Johnson online after she criticized Kylo Ren's character. It's just there's so many different examples of these sickos. Please check out Disney Star Wars' Dumb blog site. If you are able, go to Indiegogo, support the book by Ichibaka, Disney Star Wars' Dumb. It will be related to the Fandom Menace volumes, but it will be completely different unto itself, explaining the history of SJWs, the tactics that they use, and what we can do to fight this infection. So please check out Ichibaka. He is a wonderful man, wonderful, important person in our community.
You'll find his link in the chat to his site. He's got a wonderful plethora of information in there that he has collected, and you'll find it very interesting. Check it out.
So,
and
yeah,
I also, if you want to sub to Ichibaka, I'll put his YouTube channel in the chat if you would like.
Tyler Mango says that Doomcock and Harvey is a much better couple. I have to agree. Hail, Lord Doomcock. Hail, Lord Doomcock, and hail Tyler Mango, the mascot of the fourth wave. Hail. Finally, when you have a chance, when you have maybe had enough beers to numb the pain, check out that article or one of the many videos of people reporting on it.
Did Immortal Coil say?
I will.
Did Immortal Coil say how bad he hurt his hand? I understand he works in construction or something like that.
I don't know. I also understand that he masturbates vigorously, so that might have also.
I wasn't gonna go there. No. Oh man, I think he owes you one now.
He discovered Instagram.
Yes, yeah, he discovered Instagram. It's Immortal's all about savage spirituality. Everything he does in life is savage. So we don't know how he hurt his hand. I hope he's good. I hope he's all right. I love our brother. Hail trans fat.
Hail.
So, all right. Let's. Do you want to move on to the next subject, Bear?
So, what do we got going on here? Let me see.
That Witcher article looked pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that. All right.
A masturbatory mishap. Nice, Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
Which I got a couple Witcher articles. I have the one with 1 million tune in, and I have the one where Henry Cavill is training for The Witcher 2, rooting for Chiefs in Super Bowl. Which one?
The 1 million views. Let's check that out.
Bing-a-ding.
Henry Cavill really, I have issues with the way that Superman was portrayed.
I love
portrayed.
him as Superman.
No, I think he's got the look. He's got the look and the body and
sure
everything for it. Absolutely. I just, Christopher Reeves is my Superman. You know, so I kind of want that innocence. That's the Superman that I want to see.
Hail that.
What
Hail.
about Brandon
Yes.
Roth?
I liked him.
Brandon Routh was, yeah,
Yeah,
he was the
it-
same
it's now-
Superman
now-
as
now-
Christopher Reeve.
I'm curious about something.
He
Is
was
it
continuing that.
Ruth or Roth?
Ralph.
Ralph.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Brandon Routh.
look,
Ralph sounds better.
I liked that movie. If I could have changed any, I mean, they were going with the timeline from the
Me too.
originals, and so I'm perfectly
Yeah.
fine with that. If I would have changed anything, it would have made Lex a little bit more like the comic book Lex. That's like the only thing that I would change from the originals. You know what I mean? I liked the portrayal of Luthor, but
More
he's,
devious.
well, not that he's not more devious, but he's a corporate man. You know, like he
Yeah, he
Lex
was pretty devious in that movie.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he stabs him with kryptonite and kicks him over.
No.
You know,
High thinking
he
corporate deviance.
he swindled that old woman out of her estate. He was pretty good, but
And he's
Yeah.
played by Kevin Spacey.
yeah, he was doing the Hackman, the Hackman version
Right.
of Lex.
Right.
Keep in line with the. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that movie.
Hey. Yeah, I actually have that poster too. I've got all the 4. Well, you guys see it as my backdrop usually, but it's all 4 posters, and then I've got the Superman Returns as well.
I mean, you can skip the Quest for Peace. That's more like a fan film with all the original actors in it.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'd still watch it. You know, I even to
Yeah.
laugh at it, but because it's Christopher Reeves, man. Christopher Reeves Superman is Superman to me.
Yeah, he is Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, all 4. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a box set as well that has like all 4, or actually it's all 5 of them because it includes Superman Returns and it's on Blu-ray.
Hey, we got a bird's eye view of CJ's movies.
Say, Jay, is this your masturbation station? Hold on. West Moody Webcast says, yeah, man, the behind the scenes showed him and Bryan Singer in a golf cart with a bullhorn on the back lot with Spacey and Luthor regalia. Like, whoa. Rolling Megan's Law right there.
Yep.
Wes.
Hey, I got that one. Is that the
You got this
is
one?
that
Yeah,
the
this
Blu-ray
is the-
one?
Nice.
Yeah,
I got
Blu-ray
the-
one. It's got all
I got the
5 of the movies.
I got the DVD version of that.
Oh,
Just
it's even
another-
got Superman Returns.
Just another
Hey,
nerd.
Yeah, it's a really cool.
The price
I like
was
the
nice.
look
It
of
was
Yeah, that's
$9.99.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, I got this. I think this was like $20. The Blu-rays. I got it on eBay. No, Amazon. Amazon. Yeah, and then I've got the posters in
Well,
the back there.
Every now and then, I find these really awesome deals on Vudu, and just for shits and giggles, I check the price of the 5 movie pack on Vudu, and they had the DVD available, all 5 of them for $9.99, and all the
That's
all the Vudu digital copies. I'm just like,
Just another nerd
Yeah.
says Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville was the best Lex Luthor. He was a great Lex Luthor.
He was a really good Lex. I liked him a lot as Lex. Yeah,
I like Smallville.
yeah. Smallville was.
yeah,
was
I like him
I
as
loved
Lex
it when it
too.
was on.
Oh, there.
Oh,
I
what do you
got
guys
that
think
set.
of the Superman and Lois show now? They're coming.
Oh
out
yeah,
with?
I love Lois and Clark.
No. There's a new one. It's the Superman, the Tyler, what's his name, who plays Superman on the Supergirl show, the CW Superman.
Uh-huh.
Him and
They
Lois
shouldn't
coming
have
out.
Oh, I
went
heard
with
about
that guy. They should have went with Brandon
What?
Roth
What was that final?
for a TV show.
They're coming out with a Superman show with that Superman, Tyler, whatever his last name is, and the Lois Lane from the CW, and it's going to be centered around them raising a kid, raising the baby,
I am really
Let's-
worried.
domesticating Superman, basically.
I am really worried because it's connected to Supergirl. Now, I like the actress playing Supergirl. I've seen her nude; she's beautiful, and I really, I think that show
I'm
could have
looking
been
for that
great.
article now.
I think that
Yeah.
that could have been great if it didn't go woke. So I'm worried about anything attached to Supergirl. And it's a shit. The Arrowverse started off so good, guys.
Hey, did you guys hear that Vin Diesel's going to play Bloodshot?
No. Oh no. Yes, I did. I heard a rumor about that.
I'm at Cosmic Book News and I'm checking out the articles. looking for that information on what you just mentioned.
There's a
Supergirl
trailer
is hot,
for it.
Tyler. You're absolutely right, Tyler. Supergirl is hot. That actress is smoking hot. She's almost future ex-wifey material for me. But the show is just, I can't. And they have so many characters in there that I like to see, but it's just, I can't get it.
Supergirl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to kind of stop. I had to stop watching it. I had
Yeah.
to stop.
It's hard to get through it.
I would have liked
I'm trying to
Batwoman.
still get through last season.
I was really behind Batwoman right before all the advertisements came out. Like, I was behind that idea because the Batwoman in the comics is a cool character. She's not an SJW.
Yeah.
And so I was looking forward to that because, Arrowverse is kind of like an alternate universe, alternate DC universe. So I'm down with that, seeing the alternate, characters. But I couldn't get past episode 4 of Batwoman. It was just so bad.
Yeah. I didn't make it that far. So congratulations.
I don't think I've watched any of Batwoman.
I tried.
Maybe the first 3. Yeah, you see, I watched the first 3 and I forgot that I watched the first 3. So it's probably not that great.
Well, John talks. I'm sorry.
My wife, I put the first episode on. She fell asleep.
I said,
if my wife falls asleep on a movie or a TV show, it's bad.
John Talks was the last soldier standing reviewing Batwoman. And he was saying, like, and I had to agree with him, it wasn't as woke as they were trying to say it was. And it wasn't. It was just bad writing and just not the Batwoman from the comics. It's just it wasn't Kate Kane. It wasn't the character that I knew. And the writing was awful. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like it would be funner to have needles stuck in your eyes and then watch that show. Serious.
Yeah,
it'd be a great time,
First, I watched episode 1 and I was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I heard the last episode was like went over the top woke, and she comes out to Gotham as not as Batgirl, but as being a lesbian. I would think that would really kind of narrow down who she is, though. I mean, wouldn't you figure out, like, knowing that her character is also, who she play? What's her name in the show? The bat, Kate
Kane.
Kate Kane, yeah. Wouldn't you think if you come out as Batwoman as being a lesbian, that would somehow maybe, like give another clue to who your identity is?
Maybe.
I
don't know. That's
so. And let me ask you guys something, because you'd mentioned Arrow at some point. So did any of you guys read up about the Green Arrow replacement?
No, I have not.
No.
So Green Arrow and the Canaries, they badly want to replace Arrow. So apparently the story behind it is there's only a few episodes left for Arrow. And when that wraps up, they are looking to replace Arrow with Green Arrow and the Canaries, which is going to have Mia being the central character, but it's going to be set in 2040, and she is going to put on the Green Arrow costume, and Mia is going to be the Green Arrow with the Canaries in tow.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, okay. I will hold my breath abatedly.
I mean, they've already kind of teased around with the female Green Arrow. They had his like half sister running around as Green Arrow, and
2040. So that won't be.
Well, but West Booty Pop webcast.
2040. It won't have bad.
So what year are they going to in this series?
It says 2040.
It said 2040.
Yes, the concept presented here barely makes sense, but in the wake of Crisis, you sort of just have to run with it. After Oliver sacrificed himself to save the world, that created a future in 2040 where Star City is now a crime-free utopia rather than a crime-infested dystopia, like we saw in the last few seasons of the show. That means Mia Smoke is now Mia Queen. And there are very weird changes to the world, like her being engaged to JJ, Diggle's son.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, Westwoody Bubcast, I see you put his quote up here. It says,
Yep.
Rachel Scarston was acting her little heart out, man. You could tell she got a lot of practice time in that with that butterfly night. Yeah.
Yeah, she was quite good with that butterfly knife, I got to say.
So, yeah, I think we all this conversation started with Henry Cavill, and I wanted to say that him standing up for the fans of The Witcher says a lot. It tells me that there are some actors out there that are paying attention to what's being said, and we're in a day and age where we need to recognize that, support it, and it also helps that The Witcher was pretty damn good. I enjoyed it.
I had to honestly. I'm at the end of my second rewatch, and I think it's pretty good. I think it's got a little bit of everything when it comes to that fantasy world in the book, where there's sorcery, there's magic, there's
tits and ass.
Well, there's that too.
Very important.
I think the fifth episode was very, very revealing, you could say. I think that was the 5th episode of the first season. Yeah, very, very revealing. But I'm digging it, man. When I first started watching it, it's like, damn it, I feel like I'm freaking reading a book. And I understand it was a book before it was the TV show. And so, it's like, I love that feeling that I get when I'm watching a show and it makes me feel like I'm reading a book. Because the only difference is I wasn't wrapped around in the world there doing it. Because when I read a book, it's like turning the freaking TV on. I see everything and all that. And it's just, you see everything. You're there. And that's how it is for me. It's like, turn the TV on. It's like being in virtual reality for me. People that need to go into virtual reality, I don't need that because I can already see that when I read a book.
Right.
Well, from what I
understand, that's what The Witcher did for me.
From what I understand, Bear, before it was a game, yeah, it was a book. But before a book, it was actually like old Polish mythology or legends that they drew upon to write the book.
No, sort of like spooks back in the old days. You used to catch ghosts. Oh man, what's his name? I gotta look. Really awesome author. He writes a book series called Spooks.
Yeah. Sporky News Podcast is in the chat. He's taking care of some sick family.
Hey, buddy.
Sporking. Hope everything's going okay there, buddy.
What's up, Scott?
And Tyler Mango says, I never watched Batwoman. I look forward to a good laugh until I cry from sheer pain. Well, looks like you need a safe word, Tyler. You could pay money for that. Just saying.
All right. Joseph Delaney is the author. He writes the Spooks series. And it's called that over in the UK. He's an English author. And over here, it's called something else. But, I get the UK book version because I like it. And it's very similar to The Witcher in some ways. Only difference is the spooks don't really have magic. They just have really good tools to fight ghosts and stuff with. Iron shavings and the silver chain in The Witcher I noticed was something similar because the spook in Spooks he uses a silver chain too, and they use that to capture actual witches with really bad ones,
Hail, Chris.
Hail, Chris. Sporking says he's knee deep in puke on his birthday. Yay me! Happy birthday, Scott! Happy birthday!
Oh man!
Hail Stories by Irish. Good to see you, sweetie.
Hail.
So,
that's The Witcher. It's just really good. I like it.
Can you take that off the screen so I can read a little bit? The Wes Moody. Thanks. No, I meant the quote from Wes.
Hail.
Hail. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, man. Final. You said you're
Robinson.
Final, you said you were up to the last episode on The Witcher. What do you think of the show so far?
I've really enjoyed it. I mean, you can't go wrong with a guy running around hunting monsters, and the whole fantasy aspect of it. You know, the special effects are pretty good overall too. There's a couple of things here and there with some of the creatures, but I think overall the special effects are well done. I love his character development. You don't know a lot about him, but you don't need to. You know enough. You know what you need to know, and they're building on his backstory. It kind of threw me for a loop, seeing that it was kind of out of sequence a little bit. We were kind of mentioning that before. I think it was before we went on air. That it kind of goes back and forth between the future and the past, and you have to kind of keep track. It's a show you have to pay attention to a little bit. You can't just turn your mind off like you have to with Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
You got to pay attention, and it'll make sense. But yeah, so far I'm really liking it. There's the fight choreography. The fight scenes are well done. There's the one scene. It might be episode 1 or 2 where he's in the little town and he's
that's one.
Well, that's episode 1, man. It starts right off the hook, man.
Yeah, what a great
going
great
to town
scene.
fighting that hideous looking monster.
Yeah, he takes on that swamp creature and then those guys outside of the pub. Just a really
And
really
if you
cool film, well done. And
if
Henry
you
Cavill
remember,
is awesome.
Final, the one girl complained about him taking out that creature because she said that it served a purpose or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah, well,
that scene?
maybe its purpose was to die by the Witcher's hand.
yeah. Quickly.
Yeah, man.
Very
Tommy,
quickly.
have you seen
Overall, I am excited to see the end of it. I really like the mage too. She's great. Yennefer, she's
Yennefer,
fantastic. I loved her transformation.
It's got
from seeing where she came from.
It's got the complete hero's journey, man. We get to go through the
It
struggle
does.
right with her.
It
It was amazing.
And then you've got Ciri like running around off in the woods and trying to survive, and her whole backstory of the promise.
right.
It's just really, really cool. I'm looking forward to the finale here. I'm gonna watch that tonight, and then really looking forward to season. I know season 2 got greenlit. I think it got greenlit before the show even aired, which is something they like to do. But in this case, I'm excited. It worked out.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, the going back in time, you can't have no distractions. And definitely don't watch this show with kids around, man, because there's definitely some adult attenuations, you could say. And man, awesome show. You got to really watch when you're watching, because there's no difference between the present and the past in that show. They don't change camera angles. They don't put a filter in there to make it seem a little different. It's all the same. And so you keep an eye on that, man. The story is just amazing.
It is. And like I said, you got to. It got me a little confused here and there until I understood they were jumping through time. Through each episode. So episode 4, the promise of surprise. Or was it the what the hell is it called? The something of surprise. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat help me out.
I think it is the promise of surprise.
The promise of surprise. Yeah.
Okay. Like that has to be something to do with the original lore. Like the books and the comics or something like that, because I was just so thrown away, like thrown off. It was hard. The first half of the episode I enjoyed. Yeah, it was the law of surprise, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the second half of that episode just threw me off. I did completely, just like what's going on. It was hard for me to enjoy. That's the only problem I had with the season as a whole, was that episode. But other than that, man,
what about it? What about it was it that you've had a hard time with?
Well, first off, they didn't really explain what the hell the law of surprise was. Then they had that knight show up, who was Porcupine or whatever he was.
Right.
They didn't really explain what the hell was going on with that. Then you had that whole sequence where the princess was using magic and like that big tornado of shit all around her, and they didn't even explain that. And maybe they did at some point, so I could have understood it.
Yeah, you're right.
But
they didn't.
Like, what the hell's going on?
The moment they showed me, I thought like, who is this queen? Is this like a twin sister? Because you saw her die, in a previous episode. and then all of a sudden here she is back on the throne with the daughter who I thought was like a grown up version of, I didn't know who that was. What this queen, I just saw her die like 2 episodes ago. Now here she is on the throne. This must be a twin sister. She's got another, there's more to this. And then I realized, no, that's the same.
It was
and this
the mother.
Is her daughter. Yeah. And then the youngest girl we see, Siri, is actually like the granddaughter. Yeah. You had to piece it together. That's why you had to pay attention.
And the queen,
because
I can suspend disbelief for some things. If a show or a tale or something is good enough, I can suspend disbelief for 1 or 2 things. That's like, one of my biggest problems with The Last Jedi, one of my biggest problems was that I could not suspend disbelief because every scene was bullshit. But with this show, I can suspend the fact that queen weighed about 120 pounds, was wearing plate armor, and I'm supposed to believe that she's a badass warrior. I like badass warrior women. Her attitude was definitely badass. I enjoyed the character, but it was a little hard to swallow that this chick's wearing plate armor. If it was studded leather or something like that, I could probably get that. But you're telling me that she can lift up a broadsword over her head. Does anybody know the weight of a broadsword? I mean,
it's really freaking heavy, man.
I would have a problem wielding a broadsword. That's a very, very heavy weapon. And it's not a hack and slash weapon. That is a smashing weapon. It's a sword, but it's more you treat it more like you treat a warhammer.
The sword she was carrying was the short version of the long sword.
Well, yeah, okay, but it's just so that all of the mixture of all that stuff going on in the episode that I didn't understand, the porcupine guy, the magic of the woman, the law of surprise, the this and that kind of compounded my issues with certain elements within the story. Now, it doesn't spoil it for me. It's just an episode that, I might fast forward, because I don't, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the episode that I did like was the one with Yennefer when the Witcher finally meets Yennefer in that house. The king that with all the kid who had turned into a demon. Or a mutant or whatever, in that castle, like that story was great, so it's easy for me to forgive what I didn't like, what I may not have liked in some of them, because other episodes were phenomenal, and that's my take.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would have to agree that there was definitely some things that they didn't explain. And I think what they're doing is they're assuming that people that are watching The Witcher have read fantasy books, lore books, and has read the Witcher books itself.
Right.
And they didn't explain some things. See, I got some things because I've read all kinds of fantasy books you can think of. And they probably could have took a few seconds here and there to explain some things.
It was meant for the fans of The Witcher. That is, I am totally fine with that. If I need to know more, I need to go back and look at the lore, because that's what this show was made for, and I respect that. Tommy, you were going to say something. What was that, buddy?
Well, I think you got it all wrong. Everybody's got it all wrong. I mean, the problem is you're all a bunch of toxic males. This show was nothing about the patriarchy, all the way down to making a woman have an abortion. How dare you? You incels, you racists, you bigots. How could you? You all make me sick. It's all about the patriarchy. If he was out attacking white male, this show could have been something, but it wasn't, was it? You people are all crazy. I don't know how I can sit on this panel with all this toxicity. You make me sick.
Oh, the guinea pig has spoken.
And the guinea pigs will get you. And don't forget, the guinea pig menace and the Fandom Menace are allied.
Yes,
I'll be honest, though. I mean, seriously, my first run through the show, I was extremely confused. And as I started to go through my second run
a little bit
of the
here and
show,
there.
I was even more confused. I mean, I thought it was okay, but it really didn't help the second time through. It didn't like help resolve some of the issues with the way the story was chopped up. It really felt like I was watching a medieval version of Pulp Fiction
with tits. Lots of
Yeah.
tits. God, I love that. Sporking says, if I was on, I could explain everything. And he said they explained all concept for series power in the season. So we'll talk about that this Saturday, Scotty, if you are available and you can inform us about all
Well, I
that.
think that's what I was just responding to him in the chat. I think they mentioned during that scene where the flashback scene you were talking about, Steve.
Mhm.
I think the queen mentions to the daughter, something like, "Oh, I thought that the power had skipped a generation, like it had skipped you, like it skipped me." But then she sees her display of power, and she realizes she does have this power.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that's where Siri gets it from her mom because it's in the family bloodline. It just had skipped the queen, and she thought it had skipped her daughter until she sees, that display where she's like levitating with a porcupine person. So I think now how they, what kind of power that is. Yeah, they don't really explain if that's like elvish power or what kind of magic that is. But I mean, people obviously just are born with magic in this world, like the mages. So I'm assuming it's that kind of, that kind of that has gone through the family
Might be
line.
time travel.
It just skipped. Huh?
Yeah, I say that
What's
from
that?
the games. It might be time travel. I'm just going off what I know from the games because I haven't watched the show, but she traveled through time or something like that
Okay.
at one
Well,
point.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, I'm guessing it's some kind of magic, though. Like the
And
mages have the magic, and it's just transferred through the
with that new
bloodline.
game that's coming out, it's gonna talk.
well, I took, because I haven't read the comics or the books. I took
Gone into
for
the
instance,
future, basically.
I took the use of potions as a callback to a video game. I found out later that it actually comes from the lore, but I looked at him taking potions and then having more power as being borrowed from a video game. That's how I related it. So, I guess if depending on
Increasing
what
his heart
medium.
to fight the boss
Yeah,
villain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to. Comic chat is in the comic chat is in the chat. I almost said comic chat is in the panel. Comic chat is in the chat. Hail, brother, good to see you. So is Snowdub Music and Entertainment, and I wanted to just let Snowdub know that we have a theory. Immortal is not able to make it tonight because he has injured his hand, and I think perhaps it may be due to some type of savage masturbation. So maybe Hail Transfat, you should call out to Immortal, make sure he's okay. Yeah.
Along the way.
And
Stuff, yeah.
Tyler Mango says Tommy is God.
He's everywhere. He's he's everywhere at once. He's on the
Yes, he
podcast while
is.
currently
Mhm.
modding 5 other lives.
He's Snowdub, right? So maybe he injured his hand in a puppet.
Thomas Gilkey had a live stream last night, and I caught a little bit of it. And he had a stunt man from Hollywood on there, and they were talking. And by God, Snowdub, please go check this out. Go check out Thomas Gilkey's live stream if it's still on. Toward the end of it, this guy was talking about puppets, and he was talking about how people don't give consent to puppets when they put their hand up their ass. He went on a 10-minute rant about that.
He said he was going to make a video like a one of those videos you watch in school on teaching you with the rights and wrongs of things, like an office video that teaches you about sexual harassment. He said he's going to make one about the puppet, getting consent from a puppet before sticking your hand inside of it. And he said he was 100% serious. So I cannot wait to see his video. Ben is a great guy. He's hilarious.
Oh man.
Yeah, check out his channel too. It's this is not going to go the way you think. That's his YouTube channel.
Tyler says waterfalls is the earth crying because Tommy punched it.
No, not nice. Mm-hmm.
Like a Chuck Norris thing to say.
No, the good.
Tommy is the Fandom Menace Chuck Norris.
All right,
He's a Phantom Menace.
you're about to see something that's going to make you mad. Maybe.
Reverse Flash rumored to be female.
In the movie.
They're gonna make Thrawn. Now I like that actress. I have to say.
I got mixed feelings. Flashpoint movie may have found its villain in the form of gender swap Reverse Flash, aka Eobard Thawne, possibly played by Jessica Chastain. You see, no.
No, you can't keep going against
No
freaking characters that are established at certain.
Hell to the no.
There are plenty of female villains out there. You know what I mean?
Yes, there are.
And I'm beginning to think
when
that
they're doing good with the whole crisis thing.
Right. Matt McGlowan, I'm beginning to think that he's Fandom Menace because there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't agree with. And these are one of the things I think that he probably does not agree with. But he's fair and balanced. I like this guy. A lot of interesting stuff Matt McGlowan puts out there.
I like the actress. I like.
I mean,
What did you guys think of that whole crossover thing?
I haven't watched it yet.
When Ezra showed up on Grant. Oh,
yeah, I know that.
We've heard about it, but we haven't watched it yet.
I've heard about it. I mean, I figured it's a smart move for them. I think that's what people were waiting for, to cross over like the Marvel does, cross over the worlds, the universes, or I guess in this case, the Earths for DC. But yeah, I think it was smart for them to do. It gives them more leverage to be able to cross things over, to change timelines. I guess I've also read that, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, cover your ears for 10 seconds, but they combined all of the Earths into one now, so that everyone in the CW is on the same Earth.
Oh wow! Well, they kind of had.
Supergirl was on a different Earth from Flash.
That's got to be very confusing. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of something that they had to do, and I look after the third season of Arrow and the second season of Flash. It's very hard for me to follow, and I kind of like I like Legends. The first season of Legends was good. It's just like those shows start out good and then they kind of teeter off, or they just I don't know. I just lose interest in them. Now, one thing I will say is that if they're going to start crossing over the TV and movie universe, which I am freaking cool with, I want to see Steve Amell, Green Arrow, on the big screen. That is what I want. That guy loves his fans.
Yeah, and Deathstroke.
And the sale. God, yes. Oh God, yes. There's a lot of great. Those, like I said, man, the first 3 seasons of Arrow, great. But I want to see Steve Amell because he's appreciated. One of the biggest things I had, one of the biggest issues that I had with the DC cinematic universe was that they did not bring in Steve Amell, and that they did not bring in Gustin Grant.
All right, if someone's gonna play that person, play Thrawn, I would like it to be Christina Hendricks. She's green-eyed redhead, man. She got fucking flares. She would do better.
Look at those lips. Jesus H. All right, I'm
done. I can't think of who that is.
She
played in Mad Men.
Did that?
Hold on, CJ. Hold on, CJ.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on, CJ.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know you got satellite bounce going on. You're in Canada and all that. Christina Hendricks. Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. And
I can picture her in Mad Men, the redhead in Mad Men.
Yeah, man. She's fierce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A great actress.
The way she portrays her, she would be good as Thrawn, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think Allison Mack is going to have a chance, though. She's listed the top 100 actresses on IMDb.
Talking about Allison Mack?
Yeah.
Allison Mack. Oh God.
She's doing time.
She's doing
now,
time.
Arrow hasn't ended, right? He's still on it because it was like a 10 episode. I think he agreed to do, or the season's just 10. So it hasn't ended. So we don't know where his character is going to leave off, if they're going to kill him or send him.
You know who else would be good is Kristen Ritter. She played in that Marvel TV show with.
You do know what's going to happen to him? CJ, did you say you do know?
Cocaine is a hell
Because
of a drug.
we've already seen it in the Crisis thing.
Oh, so they show you what happens to Arrow, but he's still on the show. But okay.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I think Kristen
they do.
Ritter. Am I muted?
No, you're good, buddy.
All right, just checking.
No,
Because she played in what the Defenders is what she played in, and that was with Daredevil and Iron Fist and a couple others that was in that show.
Luke Cage.
And yeah, I think Kristen Ritter, if there was going to be a female Thrawn, I think she would be a good choice.
I liked the Defenders, with the exception of Iron Fist, and I wanted that show to be good, but it was not.
I did
It was
too.
not.
Oh,
I
I
still-
hated Iron Fist.
I still
And-
liked it, but it could have been better.
Ugh.
They would talk every time they were trying to be stealthy, and there was no martial arts. It was. Ugh.
I mean, they tried. I can't think of her name. The girl that was the sidekick. She was also on Game of Thrones. Like, I loved her. But the story was shite. It was just so awful. It was so awful. I like Luke Cage. I'm actually upset that Luke Cage didn't get a third season because I did like that show. Thought there was a lot of good writing in it. And Daredevil.
And Cottonmouth is going to be Blade. So I think it's probably going to get rebooted.
If they were going to go with a female Thrawn, another female actress that would be good is Lena Headey. She played in 300.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
she played in
the
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, she's a good actress, and she's giving me boobs. I love her. Yeah.
I think she'd be good because the roles that she plays a very strong woman and kick ass too.
Oh yeah, great actress, man. Look at her. If you want to look at her in 300, great. First season Game of Thrones,
freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
She even played in Judge Dredd. The character she played in Judge Dredd, man, that was just wow.
Right. Not even a sexy character.
She played Mama.
Nasty character. Right. Just great. Yeah,
Judge Dredd, one of my favorite reboots.
Yeah, Judge Dredd was good. I mean, the Dredd was good. I like Judge Dredd the original, and I like Dredd. See, Sporky News Podcast says Blithy Smoke actress got a nice back. I can't disagree with that, sir. I cannot disagree with that. That back was beautiful. Queen Lorena Creole just stopped by and said, "Hey everyone, I'm working on a homework assignment, so I've got you guys in the background." Lena. Well, sweetheart, I'm going to do my best to entertain you while you're working, honey. Yeah, so I think she's a great actress. I don't want to see Thrawn as a woman. We don't need to gender swap Thrawn. Come on, man. Come on, like.
If they're gonna, but if they do it, they're not gonna do it good. Judge Dredd.
There's it's not even a novelty anymore. Like if you do it as a novelty, like if it's once in a while and if it's and it's done well, I'd be okay with it. But with all of the different, there are so many different great. Look at the 2000s for fuck's sake, and not even that. The 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s. Look at the different characters that were created as that were created during that time. You've got different characters in DC, Marvel, and other places. All right, they're not all white people. You've got just a plethora of characters from different backgrounds, different races, and blah 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 that you could pick from that are good. And even if they're not like mainstream, look at Iron Man, for instance. Iron Man was not one of the favorites. I always liked Iron Man myself, but Iron Man.
You mentioned 1980s movies. You want to know the all-time best movie that came out that we loved as fandom?
Highlander?
No, 1983 Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Listen, I love Return of the Jedi. I do, but
and then they just kept they kept giving. Ghostbusters, 84. Ferris
Oh my
Bueller's Day
gosh.
Off, 86.
All the
Top
Indiana
Gun.
Jones movies.
Top
Back to
Gun,
the Future.
86.
It doesn't end. You look at like the
Yeah.
movies that came out in 1984. Look at like 20 of them. They're 20 of the most classic movies of all time.
I mean, look at The Outsiders, 1983.
Yeah.
Coming to America, that was just off the
Yeah,
hook funny.
yeah.
The Princess Bride, everybody loves that
The
movie.
beautiful day in Zamunda.
And then 1980, it's still a 1983 Scarface.
Fucking Gremlins.
With a
Frickin'
firm
the Karate
backside.
Kid.
Yeah.
And rest
then-
like cassava melons.
Yeah, and then 84, we got The Terminator. 1980, we got The Shining, man. That movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, man. I gotta say.
Bear, share my screen right now. I'm gonna send you a screen. This is just a taste of 1984 to show you. Like, and these are all new.
Where's
I
the
don't
thing at?
understand.
No.
There
Okay,
you
take a look at that.
I don't
Look at
understand why they
at
haven't
it.
done a Martian
Red
Manhunter movie.
Gremlins,
Red Dawn.
Red
Gremlins,
Dawn.
Ghostbusters.
Conan.
I even liked the remake Red Dawn. It was good.
I didn't
It was
see the
okay.
remake.
It was okay.
Oh, you
but
didn't?
No,
It was
I haven't
alright,
seen the remake.
but it's nowhere near as good as the original. But it
Spinal
was
Tap,
okay.
Beverly Hills Cop, Police Academy.
The Last
I mean,
Starfighter, guys. Come on now.
Classic. Conan. These all came out. These all came out in 1984 alone.
Amadeus is
Buckaroo
a great movie.
Banzai. You guys know that movie?
Buckaroo
That's
Banzai.
Yep.
Of course I know.
Banzai. Yeah,
it.
love Buckaroo. Yeah, I mean, it's just Temple of Doom. It's just crazy the amount of movies that came out.
What is this? What is
one
this
year.
on right here? Is this it's just a collection of your movies or just a database?
No. I just Googled movies that came out in 1984. I Googled it right. Yeah,
It's
At the
cool
end.
how the thumbnails are lining up. Awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Children of the Corn. Oh, that's a great Stephen King movie.
Splash is a good movie too. I watched that a lot when I was a kid.
Splash was good. Yeah, Splash was good.
Dune, fucking Dune, man. Yes.
Yeah. Just, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I
Amadeus.
have the director's cut
Purple Rain.
of Dune somewhere.
Yeah.
I bet Tommy was a big Footloose fan.
Goonies.
A lot of those movies that you mentioned, I've already freaking done movie reviews on.
Yeah.
That's
And who
great.
could? And let's see here. Let's see. Back to the Future, 85. And remember Space Camp, 86.
Space
I-
Camp,
and-
yes.
And I have the director's cut, Blade Runner, 1982.
Right,
And-
82 through 85, Porky's. 1, 2,
And
3.
then one of the all-time kick-ass females, Aliens, 1986. Man,
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver played Ripley.
Mhm.
And there was a kick-ass female in Roadhouse. She played the doctor in Roadhouse. Remember? Patrick Swayze movie.
Yeah. I remember Roadhouse.
Sam Elliott.
Roadhouse was a
Kick-ass
cool
movie.
movie.
That was 89, man. So there was a whole freaking all the 80s had just
And they were all original movies. For the most part, they were all original ideas.
and,
Original.
and then Willow, that was original.
Escape from New York.
And then 88
New York, yeah.
New York
Beetlejuice.
was a good one, man.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Duh.
Uh-oh.
I'm not
Don't
doing
say
it.
it. Don't
another
say it
one
third time.
Another one I just covered recently, Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah, all the huge movies.
I watched
And Die Hard.
I watched Ferris Bueller for the first time with my son last month because I was like, dude, you've got to. I wouldn't be a good parent if you don't see this movie. And so we sat down and watched it. And then when we got to the end, my son said, "Oh, now I understand that the end of Deadpool." Not kidding you. Not kidding you.
That's great. That's funny. Get out of here. Go. Get out of here. Yeah. That's
And
great.
you watched a completely different movie that made the ending make sense.
Well, no, I mean, it's like
Well, they reference it. They reference
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So you
funny
get,
when
you
that
get
happens.
the reference finally. It's fun to watch those movies. You're like, oh, that's where it came from.
I mean, each generation thinks that their movies, the movies they grew up with, are like the best. If you talk to a boomer, they're gonna talk about like, Cary Grant. They're gonna talk about different types of movies that reflected their age. So I mean, to us, the 80s, the 90s, that's where it was at.
I grew up with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. So that
Right.
was my
Oh, dig it.
Spider-Man.
Dig it. Yeah. It's just
Well,
so-
Steven,
Yeah, but
It's not just movies and TV and stuff like that. It reflects down to like toys and everything too. Because when my daughter was growing up, they had just re-released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not only as a cartoon but as a toys line again. And she already knew from me telling her about the ones that came out before in the 80s. So she knew about it. So she actually wound up getting into an argument with a kid about these new turtles, saying, no, they already are old. They've been out before. And this kid sat there and argued with her until he was blue in the face that, no, these are brand new. They just came out. They never existed before. I mean, it's that, the classic bird with the head in the sand. If you don't see it, it's not really there. And that's how most of these people are today. If they're not getting pounded in the face with it every day, it doesn't exist to them.
The only thing he was right about was that they were new.
Yeah, they had newly released again, but
well,
they were made new, but they've been around, and the mold still existed.
I feel bad for. I guess maybe I feel bad for kids that are growing up in this past decade that are getting subpar content. Like this. That what I think is subpar, because they could grow up and be like, this shit was great. I mean, who knows? I mean, that could be it. That could be the thing in 20 years. But I look at it and I'm like, wow, the quality of storytelling. Like, dude, I remember when they took a chance with a show called The Inhumanoids. Does anybody remember that? 1980s.
Yeah, I remember.
Was it the Inhumanoids or Inhumans?
It was The Inhumanoids.
Really?
Different. Yeah.
Yes.
The Inhumans was actually something that was more modern that they just did.
Yeah, that's a more.
The Inhumanoids, they took the idea of you had this United States funded group that had these metal suits, that had these special suits. They could do different things. They had different abilities, and that there were different factions. It was like
animation, right?
Yeah, animation. You had the Russians. Russians were the bad guys, of course. But you also had people that lived inside the earth, like the molten rock creatures, molten rock races, and then you also had these titans that had been trapped in the earth that had just been released. It was kind of like a Godzilla theme in a way, and they all had different elemental properties, and one of them was the undead. He was my favorite one, and his name Decompose was his name, and he would transform people into zombies, into living zombies, superpowered magical zombies. A lot of the voices were the voices from G.I. Joe, Transformers, the Hasbro wheelhouse. And it only lasted one season because it was horror. It was a horror cartoon.
That was scary. It was scary stuff.
Absolutely. Man, I remember the one doctor that was brought back to life by Decompose. I think he was voiced by the guy that did Starscream and Cobra Commander. And he was like skeleton head, and he had his one arm was a spine, a thick spine that he would use as a whip. I mean, it was a really, it's something 80s kids could handle. Unfortunately, only lasted one season. I wish it had been more.
Yeah, because we had Tom and Jerry and Woody Woodpecker and all them beating the hell out of each other.
Well, we had that. We had that from previous generations, from like the 70s kids. But it's just that, you wouldn't get
vaguely remember this cartoon.
Check it out, man. It's worth a watch.
Barry, you can share my screen.
We should do a review. We should do a review on the Inhumanoids.
Yeah.
Because that was some scary shit.
This is scary. Yeah, look at that creepy.
I put the IMDb to the Inhumanoids in the chat.
Yeah.
For those of you that want to check it out.
Did you ever have the action figures?
Yeah, man.
I didn't have any of those.
I thought this was the most awesome show I had ever seen. It was so different, and it had, like I said, it had a lot of the voices and the same animators as the cartoons we were watching at the time, and so it was relatable in understanding the voices. Like hearing the different characters, the voice actors. But
you go to the toy store now and you try to get a toy that looks like these guys.
Yeah, good luck.
He used to trap people inside his rib cage. He was Decompose was my favorite one.
Well, hey, Final. Technically,
I remember Small Soldiers.
3 or 4 years ago. It was only about 3 or 4 years ago. They did have something similar to that back on the toy shelves.
Really?
This was it was right before Toys R Us had shut them. They had re-released Mad Balls.
Oh yeah, I do remember them re-releasing Mad Balls. Yeah, Mad Balls are cool.
And if you remember, when Mad
yeah.
Balls were released initially, they were just the balls, and then they came out with the little toy figures where the heads would pop off.
Hey, I remember these toys because they came apart, and I seem to recall that.
Mhm.
And yeah, I remember these toys being around because this was a popular cartoon in '86. And
I mean, look at this. This guy's about to put,
hey,
put
man.
this guy in the
Mhm.
cage.
Let's see, '86. How?
Yeah.
I think I was in middle school in '86.
Kids back then,
Yeah, I mean, it's just-
we could handle this kind of stuff.
right. We could handle this. Like it was just a different generation. You know?
We didn't need a safe space. This was the safe space inside the monster's rib cage.
Random Brad.
That's what made us.
Random Brad. Don't tell anybody, but I like Dirty Dancing. Don't tell anybody that. All right.
Probably like
So
those-
yeah, I was 15. I was chasing women. I probably wasn't paying much attention to this.
I
was sick. So this
no, I like Dirty
was my
Dancing.
childhood. Yeah, Silverhawks. Oh, Scott, I remember Silverhawks.
Yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing because it was sexy, and I've always liked sexy, but also because it had Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, and they were both in Red Dawn, and I love that movie.
The Footloose movie that was based off of the song Footloose, Kenny Loggins was in a group that was called Loggins and Messiana. And man, they made some really kick-ass rock and roll. You should check it out. Do a search on it.
Loggins is a very phallic name.
Well, Loggins and Messiana, they did some hardcore rock and roll that was very similar to Black Oak, Arkansas in some ways.
Yeah,
Kick-ass music.
have you guys seen this show, the Toys That Made Us and the
I
movies
need
that
to
made
watch.
us? Yeah, I've only watched one of them. Yeah, I know. I want to watch that too because they get into all this kind of stuff.
Did you guys watch the documentary on Midnight's Edge about Conan?
No.
There, they go into the explanation that of the different changes of people that own the copyright for Conan, and one of the changing of the hands actually gave us He-Man. The He-Man universe and characters, a lot of them were modeled after Conan.
Oh yes, that I do know. There's actually another really good documentary on Netflix about He-Man too. It gives you the whole background. They talk about that too. That it came from Conan. They were looking for
Toys
something.
That Made Us, man.
Mhm.
That is a good series.
I have to check that out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a
they
really
cover,
good.
They cover a lot of stuff. They covered Legos. They covered Transformers.
Well, there's one
Joe,
that's just
Star
there's one
Wars.
that's just about He-Man.
Right, yeah, but I'm just saying they have a whole bunch of independent shows about all these different franchises.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's called The Power of Grayskull. It's on Netflix. The Definitive History of Superman. Or of Superman. Of He-Man.
You got Superman on the brain.
I know. It's like to Superman. Yeah.
Have you never seen that one? Final. The Toys That Made
No.
Us?
Which one are you talking about?
It's called The Toys That Made Us.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's the one I
name of
mentioned.
series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they have another one that I haven't seen called The Movies That Made Us.
Yeah. The other one, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I just didn't know if you'd seen it. I didn't hear you mention that by name.
Yeah. I've only seen The Toys That Made Us. I haven't watched but I want to watch the one that Movies That Made Us too.
Yeah, that just came out recently.
Yeah, I just heard about it. That one, yeah.
Where'd Bear go? Did Bear kick himself?
I think he kicked himself. Booted himself out.
Oh man, I hope not. The stream will die in like 2 minutes. Quick, everybody talk shit on Bear on his own channel.
No, never.
He is helpless.
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? I think that the Inhumanoids, now, looking back and thinking about it, actually, that really did inspire my my science fiction books, my Elemental series a lot. A lot of those characters, not the characters, but just like the idea of the power of the different elements, and like they're kind of a deep horror lore. I think I had a lot of influence on my series because it deals with eventually it deals with like demonic forces and unnatural uses of power and things like that.
Yeah. Now, see, and that just lasted one season, but yet you never know how you can impact something or someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I can't wait
I
till
don't
I
know.
read those books.
There's a movie from the 90s that I don't know if you guys heard, Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers, yeah, remember that one?
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite ones growing up.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, it was. The original Ninja Turtle movie was great.
Yeah,
The original one.
Was that from the 90s too?
That it was the
that
90s.
was from the
Was it?
I think
Was
it was
it
like
80s?
88 or
That was-
89.
that
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you might be right. But you know what really fucked it up? And this is an example of the proto SJW. What really destroyed that franchise was when they listened to all of the conservative moms, because back then it was the conservatives that got
Oh
butthurt.
yeah.
Now
I
it's the
remember
liberals that
that.
get butthurt. Or they listened to
Oh,
all
yeah, I
that
remember.
force.
right, and all the conservative moms came out and said, "Well, do they have to use weapons? Does there has to be so much violence? You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And so you get the beginning of Ninja Turtles 2. You get combat cold cuts. Like what the fuck is going on?
Combat Colt.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right, because he couldn't use his
He couldn't use
nunchucks
his
anymore.
nunchucks, and that ruined it. The first one was great. It was dark. It had adult themes to it. Like it really made you think about Splinter. And I didn't like that they took. Hamato Yoshi, or what? No, was it? Yeah, Hamato Yoshi was Splinter.
Yeah, Hamato
Yeah,
Yoshi.
I didn't like how they made him the pet. I did not like that.
Rocco
Did not agree
Saki
with
was
that.
Shredder. Yeah, he was like Shredder's pet.
Isn't
and
that what they
No,
did?
he wasn't Shredder's pet. He was
No,
Hamato Yoshi's pet.
right.
Yeah, his
And then-
master was killed by
Yeah.
Shredder.
Rocco Saki,
Yeah.
they have a fight and he kills him.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem, was them making that change. I did not like that. But other than that, man, it was it really delved into the characters as children growing up. They had a hero's journey. They had a good story arc. And yes, there has to be violence in a fucking ninja movie.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't they try to censor the 90s Spider-Man animated series too? Because I remember like they had to replace the guns as laser guns, and
Very possible. I
Spider-Man
don't
couldn't
remember that.
punch.
That's very possible. Well, now the Ninja Turtles now, Raphael doesn't even use size anymore. He uses like a what do they call it? Not a boken. Like a nightstick, basically.
Mhm.
Like fighting sticks. Like
They're called Tonfa.
What are they called?
Tonfa.
Tonfa. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's like a police kind of
Right.
You know.
It's basically the same as a police baton, except it's got
Baton,
the handle on the end. They're called Tonfa.
Right. Yeah. So they took out the size. He doesn't even use size anymore. I guess.
Well, you know what? I mean, if you look back to that original movie, the actual original movie was already down from the comics, because the comics were 10 times darker than that movie was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and even the cartoon that came out was like they were they were brought down a lot compared to the original.
The
comic.
Mask was a much
very,
darker
very dark.
comic too.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Welcome back.
Yeah, I
Welcome
hit
back.
the back button on my mouse, and then neither the mic or the camera would work, so I had to reboot and then come back in.
We assumed you had to take a shit.
No. I was mentally pulling.
He doesn't need to leave.
I was
the stream for
mentally
that.
pulling my hair out because I was in the green room, and
if a bear takes a shit in the woods,
I was mentally
on the screen
pounding.
for it?
I was mentally pounding on the mic and all that, and it's like, what? Why the fuck ain't you working? So I was like, fuck it, I'm rebooting.
When I'm on a stream and my browser crashes, I go through hell. I am screaming and yelling. Thank God nobody can hear me.
Yeah. I wasn't yelling, but
No, we
I
hear
was
you
screaming in
screaming,
my head.
yell on the live stream, so it's okay.
Okay, that's excellent. Tyler says R-rated Ninja Turtles based off the comic origins. I want it. I totally agree with that. I'm talking about all four of them having red bandanas and all, interdimensional demons. I want it all. That's what I want.
Yeah, the red band. That's right, because they all originally had the red bandanas, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And it was black and white. Wasn't the first version black and white?
It was black and white, but they did have the red on the bandanas.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
Didn't
the only color
their
that they had in
origin
the
tied
original
to
comic.
Daredevil?
Yes, they did. The ooze that made the turtles was also supposed to be the stuff that blinded Daredevil when he was a kid.
Oh, real? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Really
yeah, that's how they tie him into the Marvel universe.
interesting. And you know the stuntman that we were talking to last night on Thomas's channel, Ben, his first gig, he got his start in stunts because he was a stunt guy. He got hired as a stunt like a kid in the Ninja Turtles 2 movie, Secret of the Ooze.
Oh yeah,
That was his
yes.
first thing.
And also, the actor who played Michelangelo was known to use cocaine.
Oh,
That was a big thing. I remember that being a thing back then. That he was caught.
the actor who did the voice, or the
The guy inside the suit.
in the suit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he was
Hmm.
snorting in between takes.
Apparently.
Doesn't take away from the characters. I loved all those characters, man. That first movie. And my son, I introduced him to him when he was younger, so he likes The Secret of the Ooze because he was, like 6 or 7, and that movie is a little bit more kiddish, in its representation. But and I've always been like, "Are you sure you don't like the other one, man?" And he's like, "Nah." Well, it's because it's for a more mature audience. Like the first Turtles movie was for teenager and above. Like that's what.
Well, so it came out in 1990. I just looked, the first one, and I was 10. And I still prefer that one. I mean, Secret of the Ooze is
but
fun.
you're an 80s kid. You're an 80s
yeah,
kid.
I guess so. Yeah, I grew up with that darker kind of tone.
Absolutely.
Really, I thought that first one came out in '89.
I thought so too, but I just looked it up and it says here 1990. I thought it was 89 as well.
Yeah, I thought it was 90s. I did, and I remember it being around the same time as great movies such as Batman. '89 was such a good year for movies, man.
Yeah, Batman was 89 for sure. Yeah.
Such a great year.
Yeah, Turtles came out in March 30th, 1990. Yeah, the first Batman. Oh man, Keaton's still my favorite of all the Batman.
The only issue I had with Keaton Batman was he would murder a motherfucker. That's the only issue I had, because Batman never killed. I was brought up on the '60s Batman, granted, but I also loved the comics. That's when I was really into Batman comics.
Well, you never. Oh no, yeah, you do.
Yeah, every now and
You do see him
again,
kill, yeah.
in extreme cases, but only in extreme cases. And then the '90s
It was
Batman.
his one rule.
Right, this is one rule. Exactly. That's the one thing that I liked about the Nolan trilogy, was that they kind of kept that. They kept that, and I'm glad that they did.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about Michael Keaton and Batman, I want to throw this one in there. Now, imagine if instead of doing the Judge Dredd with Stallone, if they had Keaton doing the Judge Dredd like he did Batman.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I could see. Yeah, I mean, you never would have thought he would have been a good Batman. Before Batman, right? Because he was a comedic actor. He didn't really show any kind of intensity like that. But yeah, I mean, I could see him pulling off Judge Dredd.
Beetlejuice made
Batman.
I'm okay
Beetlejuice is the
with
reason.
Ben Affleck's Batman killing, because they established that Joker killed Robin, so that would have broke him.
Right. Well, that's later Batman in his later years. But he's definitely more jaded. And you're right. After he murdered the Joker, he kind of just fell off. That. But I liked Batfleck too. I liked Batfleck. Didn't have a problem with Batfleck, really.
No, I didn't. I thought he was.
I liked him until Justice League, and then they kind of basically.
Well, Justice League as a whole was just. I mean, even Superman. I like the Superman scene where he's kind of evil. Where they kind of resurrect him, but then towards the end, he's almost like a character of himself. Like he flies in and he's like, "Is this guy still bothering you?" He has all these cheesy lines. You're like, "What the heck?"
I can accept Man of Steel, although I have problems. I did problems with all. I like Henry Cavill, but I have problems with the way that they present Superman. I mean, I can accept Man of Steel for what it is.
You also got to think it's him learning about his powers too.
Well, that's what That's what the Fortress of Solitude was for. You know, like that. There's
Yes,
there's
I
chunks.
TV show was
but
for.
Yeah, the
they
Smallville
didn't
TV show.
establish that.
But what my biggest issue with the DC universe is introducing the Doomsday story arc incorrectly and way too early. The death of Superman incorrectly, way too early. This is something that should have been in phase 2, phase 3. You know, if they were going to do it, it should have been done after the Justice League had been established. This isn't an introduction to the Justice League. The death of Superman is not the introduction to the Justice League. When Superman died in the comics, there were so many storylines about how almost defenseless and how everyone had to step up their game because they didn't have Earth's mightiest hero. You know, Earth's most powerful defender. You know, if fucking Doom. I mean, if Darkseid showed up and there's no Superman, they're fucked. They're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, it's so I enjoy the movies what they are. I like Batfleck. I like Gal Gadot. I like that Wonder Woman. I like certain things. I don't like the Flash. I don't like Ezra Miller, and it's not because it's not
I don't either.
Not because he's a penchant for wearing dresses. I just don't like his incarnation.
Well, to be fair, we didn't
what
see Snyder's version of him.
What dress he decides to wear in his own time and all that is his business.
That is his
him
business.
As a character, as the Flash. I'm with you on that. I really don't. And I don't like cranked up on speed version of Flash. I don't like that.
I don't appreciate when you have a character arc that is very well built in the TV show. I like Flash from the TV show. First season Flash is great. And then you give me that, like you've gone backwards, in my opinion.
Well, the problem also is he hasn't had his own, we introduced to Aquaman, Flash, and Wonder Woman, rather quickly.
Yes.
And now we've gotten Aquaman's own movie, so you get a better sense of him. Wonder Woman, we've got, her own movie. Flash, we haven't seen him in his own movie yet. So while I agree with you, because we've got Grant, to compare it to, I think to give him, you got to give him time to have his own movie, see what they do with it, and let him try to win us over.
You gotta think like most of his scenes in Justice League were Joss Whedon's scenes.
It's
so we didn't really see.
That's true. Yeah, we haven't gotten like a really good version of him.
They wanted to make the Avengers before they made the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, Thor. Before they gave the introduction to these characters and where they sit in their development. That's what they wanted to do, and that was wrong. You had to take.
They should have made a Batman movie right after Man of Steel. Or at least right after Batman v Superman.
Right. Establish. What Batman this is. I mean, I can infer as a fan, I know where this Batman is. I know that the original Joker is dead. I know that Robin was killed. I know this is the older Batman. I know that the Joker that we're going to get, the Suicide Squad, is not the original Joker. I know what is going on. I understand what's happening. It's just that you need to build that up. They should have had independent standalones and then moved into Justice League, Suicide Squad, and so forth. And because they didn't, they kind of fucked themselves.
Yep. I agree. They tried to rush it too much. They tried to get to where the Avengers were too quick.
Right. You can't do that. You got to take your time. Look at what they did. People say that, like, first off,
they overboiled the pasta.
The Incredible Hulk was the first.
If you're going to do a Batman v Superman movie, make it about Batman and Superman. Don't throw in the rest of them.
That's they tried to build up to getting to the Justice League in the wrong movie as well.
Right.
I totally agree. Batman and Superman should have been Batman and Superman. They shouldn't have brought in their version of
Doomsday.
Not Darkseid, Doomsday. Yeah, they shouldn't have brought Doomsday in. They shouldn't have needed everyone. I mean, if anything, you can introduce the Wonder Woman scene with Bruce Wayne. That should have been the extent of her character in that movie. But bringing her in to help fight Doomsday, and it was too much. They tried to get too much done in a limited amount of time.
Right.
And it suffered. The movie suffered because of that. It should have just been the focus on Batman or Superman and those two characters.
Well, I don't mind the manipulation from Lex Luthor. They could have used the Luthor suit You know what I mean? Like they could have, they didn't have to have
Luther's fine. Yeah, keep him in because you need the villain, other than those two, because they
Right.
work together at some point. Yeah, the Luther
They
suit
should have changed him to Riddler, though. I think he would have been a
He would have
better
been a great
Riddler.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse
Yeah.
Eisenberg.
Yes, he would have been a great Riddler. Absolutely. And but it was what it was, and it was just too early for Doomsday. That's further down the line, man. That's further down the line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing, like they could have introduced Wonder Woman, and that's fine for the big fight, but in order to do that, it's like they had to craft Doomsday in order to have a big enough problem to show why they needed Wonder Woman in there too. And it's just
even if they had Doomsday, make it so they win in the end.
Chris Praza is totally
And
right.
then-
Ezra was the wrong choice. Use Grant. Absolutely, Grant should have been in there. Sorry, go ahead, CJ.
No, I said what I was gonna say. Like,
Elaborate a little.
they'd have them win at the end. Don't have Superman killed, but make it so like Doomsday can come back.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they shouldn't have had Superman die off in the second movie. That's only the second time we've seen him, and you've already got Doomsday and him dying. Like that should have been something built up. That happened. That should have been like the end of Avengers, Infinity Wars. Where the snap happens. That should have been like Superman's dead.
Right.
And now you do a couple movies without him, build the anticipation of Darkseid coming in, and then you've got like, oh crap, what are they going to do? They have no Superman, and then you've got Endgame, which Superman comes back in, and fights Darkseid.
Right, you bust out the Superman with the long hair and the solar suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the Krypton Codex is what they wanted to use. They wanted to put that in the story. That's probably why they did that.
And they
they
completely
just rushed
forgot about the whole story
Remember the
about
Codex?
Flash going back in
Right.
time.
The little
to
skull
warn
that
Bruce
had
Wayne.
all the DNA and all the whole species of the Kryptonian race.
Could have brought in Supergirl. There's so many different storylines it could have been. And now we're gonna get this. Now we're gonna get what is this douchebag Brainiac? What the hell is this?
This is back to Supergirl.
Oh, damn it! Damn it!
Have you watched this character, Steven? Have you seen him at all?
I love Brainiac. First off, I like the
I do,
idea of Brainiac. I played the last Super. I can't think of the name. The last fighting game with the Superman characters, the DC characters, which was great. They had Brainiac in there, and the guy that they used, the character actor they used for Brainiac, was perfect. And it was great. It was that whole. I love that. I love that game series. It's like the
I'm not a
alternate
fan
universe.
of this humanoid Brainiac. I'm more of a fan of the robotic.
Well, this is the Brainiac. This is not the villain Brainiac, the original Brainiac. This is Brainiac 5. Who was the guy in the comics?
Say it again.
Injustice 2.
I was saying that this is not the original, the villain Brainiac. This is Brainiac 5, who was from the future, and in the comics, he is a good guy. He's like an off, I guess, so to speak, even though he's a program, technically, but of Brainiac. So he's not the original Brainiac that we all know as the villain.
Right.
So that's why he's a good guy in the show, but he is a good guy in the comics. This version of him, Brainiac.
I like this guy's portrayal of Brainiac. I don't necessarily like everything else in Supergirl. I like the Martian. I like there's another character that I like.
He looks like he works at Versace. Like I'm expecting him to have like a gay European accent. Like, your coat does not match your shoes. What is wrong with you? It's terrible.
He's like
How come
what's his
they've
name? Franz
never
from
made-
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah.
Axel.
Yeah.
Axel.
What's up, Mark Lazarth? How you doing?
Well, so
How
Bear,
come they've never made a
go
Martian-
further down in this article and show his new, because I'm not a fan of the. I like the way he looks here better than how he's going to look, which I guess is a little more comic accurate, but it does not work for me. It's not working.
I don't
Well,
know.
there you go.
Never made a Martian.
Don't know.
I don't
no.
like that.
Oh,
No. He
Now,
needs
can
to
you
look.
show the image right below there, because it does show the comic
All right.
version of
I
him.
rarely have to ask this question, but what gender is that?
Right, exactly. It's kind of androgynous. Like there, you can tell. Like that's cool. He looks cool there. The comic,
Yeah.
like that's. But then the way they're making him look there above is not, is not as cool as that.
Yeah, this is cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool
that's
looking.
cool.
Now go up there.
Now go back up to how they're making him look.
Is
Yeah,
that a
they're-
fucking man or a woman?
They need to try again. They
Yeah,
need to try
that is
again.
not translating right.
They need to get the eyebrows right. They got to get the hair right. It's
Even
a
the hair's-
gold, not a bleached out
It's
look.
gold.
It's
This is
gold.
blonde, like Goldilocks.
Blondish
He looks like
gold.
Goldilocks.
Yeah,
He looks like Goldilocks.
Goldilocks.
and it's got a tinge of red
Brainy
going
rocks.
through it as well.
Yeah, it's got a kind of red. Yeah, he's turned into Brainy Lock. Yeah.
Oh, wonder what the
not-
comments are saying. Probably not kind.
Which way does Cosmic Book News? Which way do they tend to sway in their
Yeah,
articles?
this first comment from 3 days ago. If he were really a brainiac, he would find a way to separate himself from this crappy CW shows.
That's hilarious.
That is funny. And there's only 3 comments.
That's funny.
Oh man, go back up to my girl, Supergirl. Though I want to see her because she's I wasted potential, man. She is a good
I don't.
Kara. She's hot. I like the suit. I don't mind the new suit, although I miss the skirt.
No, the suit's cool. I mean, she looks cool. She's
Yeah.
good as the.
I don't
character.
like
It's
the
just
suit.
The show. It's the
I
writing.
don't like it.
It is the writing.
I like the suit.
I don't like
I'm
it.
down with the suit.
I don't like the suit.
It's
I liked your
unique
other
enough.
suit better.
I like the other one better, but I mean, I'm okay.
Yeah,
with
but you
it.
got to change the suits every couple
Yeah.
seconds. Flash,
Yeah,
on it,
not this kind of change. This is awful.
Yeah, you don't like it at all.
It's
huh?
it's
This
it's
kinda-
it's
this kinda
that
fits
it's
a little
that.
more with the movie.
Ooh, a SJW made my suit, and you can't really see my curves because it's meant to hide all that. Fuck that.
I've seen her curves.
You know what? They did
I've seen
take the skirt off for that reason. Yeah.
And
They
no,
took away the
but if you
skirt.
look at her midriff, man, there's molding that doesn't show anything. It's just like, who made this? Some SJW
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something?
Tyler, you need to
It's
look at the
kinda-
fappening photos, buddy. Go check out. Put in her name and put fappening. All right. Thank you, and you're welcome if you haven't seen them already. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Now, I like the emblem, the Superman, Superwoman emblem, Supergirl emblem. I'm not crazy about this style for the cape here. I'm just not. But I do like the belt's okay. The belt looks kind of neat, but I think they could have gone, like normal everyday clothing that fits tight always does. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have these areas here where it massive and it just. I'm sorry, I just don't like it.
yeah, like Captain Marvel or a little bit,
I mean, if you're wearing spandex, it's gonna show everything, and it's not.
Well, yeah,
It looks like the cape is a darker red leather too. It looks darker in this.
Yeah, it does look like a deep maroon red.
Kara, Supergirl is actually I think one of the coolest characters.
And I'm not crazy about the late '80s, '90s style bangs.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I want her to kick my ass and tell me what a piece of shit I am.
You're sadistic.
Well, that's something that we know is definitely your kryptonite. Mm-hmm.
That is.
Now, are they bringing in Power Girl? What about Power Girl?
Oh, Power Girl will be flat chested. Guarantee it. That you would not be power cleavage. Guarantee that.
Well, yeah,
I
Power
don't want
Girl.
to see Power Girl. I do not want to see Power Girl in an SJW world. When all this crap is over, then you give me Power Girl.
Yeah, I thought they were bringing Power Girl into like that. Was it the last season? Because they have like that kind of Russian version of her, and I thought that was going to end up being like Power Girl, but I haven't finished the season yet, so I don't know. I don't get the feeling that that's where they're going with it.
I want Power Girl in a tank top and yoga pants with a cape. That's what I want. All right,
He's
full
definitely not
on,
going to be on the CW.
full
definitely
on
Doing
toxic.
that.
God,
Full
damn.
on talk.
Ugh. I don't
Never
want this
gonna
guy. I don't see what the appeal is. Your color palette is all wrong.
So apparently the crisis ratings fall following break. It's like, not really. Here shows her suit full. You see,
Oh yeah.
I'm not liking it. I like this. I like the emblem. It looks cool. I think a little bit more of the gold in the emblem would be better, but I like the
good,
emblem.
yeah.
I like the belt. but I don't like. I just don't like it.
There's
She
not
was
enough
good in
like color.
Homeland.
It's
There's
like they're
not color.
trying to is that like they're trying to hide her curves or something.
I think they need to give the Flash a bigger nut cup. I don't think his package is accentuated enough there. You know,
Yeah.
it's got its own separate armor. Jesus.
And our buddy over here up to my far right is basically looking up in amazement and wishing I would rather have a beer right now.
Yeah, but that's
I
the
like his character.
Yeah, me too.
I like his character. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like Legends. I haven't been able to watch past the first season.
Yeah. I like Legends too, and I'm gonna watch The Crisis, the new one yet, and I keep hearing stuff about it, and it's like,
Look at
the cringe muscles that normally don't cringe. Some of these things in here make my cringe muscles.
Look
go.
at Tom though, man. Why can't we get him in the Superman series? You know?
I thought I heard something about him actually being in something.
They Ryan Johnsoned him.
Oh no! Don't. Well, hold on.
Oh, really?
Hold on. Explain.
Explain this, CJ.
I don't know if I want to know.
Do you want me to spoil it?
Oh yeah. You said he Johnsoned him.
You
I
want
need
me
to
to
know.
spoil it?
Oh, just his part. Just his part.
Yeah.
And spoilers, people.
Unless it's integral to the whole thing. If it's integral to the whole thing, then I gotta.
Is it integral?
So I don't want to
No.
know too
No.
much.
Is it a
No.
is it a linchpin in
No,
the
it's
story?
not.
Okay.
Not really, no.
Okay, go
He
ahead.
gives up his powers to live with his family.
Oh,
I
they did
just
that.
did.
So they did the
He
Superman
gives
2
up his
thing.
powers to live with his family.
Yeah, I mean they did that in Superman 2,
Yeah.
but he gets them back.
Right.
But come on, man! Like, if there was a show that deserved a new, a new few seasons, it would be Smallville. I would so be into that.
Yeah, well, look, if they did it, he got the powers back in Superman 2. They could do the same thing with the Fortress of Solitude. They could write themselves a way to get his powers back.
Yeah, get my sex kitten Allison Mack out of fucking jail and get her on that show. All of them.
Was that that's the actress who played Chloe, right?
Yeah.
She's in jail.
Yeah.
Sex pots. Yeah, she was wrangling chicks in Hollywood.
Or making deals.
Branding chicks into orgies and crazy shit. Just
Is that what you do? That's man, wow.
Well, yeah, it's Hollywood, man.
How does that
Hollywood.
go so wrong?
It's Hollywood, bro.
It's in a hit show. Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah.
But yeah,
what I want to see Brandon Routh come back as Kingdom Come Superman in a movie form.
Yes.
Bring back Routh.
He was great
Brandon.
in that. He was great in Crisis. I gotta give them that.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, me too. Because he played Christopher Reeve's Superman. The movie didn't take off because it was geared toward us. It was geared toward people that appreciated the Christopher Reeve Superman, and it failed because I think there wasn't enough explosions and shit. I was so upset.
Maybe.
It was a good movie, man. It
was a good movie. I mean, I enjoyed it.
So am I.
Right from the beginning, I enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, I am a fan of the Reeves Superman. Now, he plays the same Superman, right? He plays the Superman Returns Superman, just the Kingdom Come. Is it like what? Do they explain that at all? Is he a different version, or is it the Superman Returns Superman?
I'm sure this article spoils.
Technically, continuation.
Nice.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Yeah,
continuation. However,
not quite a to be continued, but cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, CJ. What they kind of what?
Okay. No, leave it there. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
That's all I need to know.
All right. I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's all I need to know was whether it was a continuation or not. Because I thought I'd read it was, so I just wanted to make sure that was the case.
Did you guys know
he played the part brilliantly, but CW still CW did.
Of course. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Doolittle tanks at box office and Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah,
Nobody-
well, you know what the last scene is?
I've seen people say blame other studios.
What was that final? You seen what?
The last this was making headlines a couple days ago. The last scene of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doolittle, he goes into this cave and finds a dragon who is he's kind of angry, but Doolittle, knowing, sensing animals' thoughts and stuff, he realizes that the dragon's not just angry, he's constipated. So he as the good doctor would,
No.
he sticks his hands up.
No.
The dragon's hoo-ha,
No.
pulls out a set of bagpipes. Yeah,
What?
pulls out a set of bagpipes because that's what was clogging him up.
What?
And then the dragon farts in his face.
Backhole bagpipes?
Yes, pulls out a set of bagpipes, and then the dragon relieves himself of his pent up gas by farting in Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Final. You're lying, right? you're lying.
I wish I could say yes. I wish I could say I was.
What?
But no, that is actually
that's why
that happens in the movie. That's
No,
the
that is
climax.
actually what happens.
Why?
So I wonder why that movie's tanking. Who thought that would be a selling point of this film?
What?
Wow.
So yeah, no wonder it's tanking in the box office. And
All right. I can't handle that.
Another image for you there, Lottie.
Look, nobody asked for Dr. Doolittle. I'm sure he just did it for the money,
Iron Man and colonoscopy.
I don't know how it got stuck up there. So,
well, I mean, he was eating a bagpipe guy, I guess, and it got lodged in his
there.
anus.
Yeah.
I mean,
and from the reviews I've read, just hearing about it and visualizing it doesn't even do it justice to how disturbing it is to actually watch him stick his hands up a dragon's butthole.
I think it was a combination of you telling me that, and then Tyler Mango singing "Somebody Save Me." That the Smallville theme came into my head. We need to get that scene and clip the Smallville song in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awful. I don't want to see this movie.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Now, what about now, guys? Real quick, I know we're getting toward the end of the show.
Is you remember the what's the other Ferrell? The guy that the funny guy, not
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. He's a comedian one.
Jim Carrey.
Remember that one where he went into that weird world where there was dinosaurs and a bunch of other stuff? What the hell was the name of that?
Oh, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
He got ate by a dinosaur.
What? Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, his character got
Land
ate
of
by
the
a
Lost.
dinosaur and he got pooped out by a dinosaur.
What?
Yeah.
This is why I choose very carefully which Will Ferrell movies I watch.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
Was he playing bagpipes?
I'm not sure. Possibly show tunes playing or something on a radio device or something. I seem to recall.
Wasn't there a movie with Jim Carrey where he's in a rhino's ass?
It's a fake rhino, and it looks like the rhino's basically pooping him out. And the kids are just grossed out. The kids watching are mortified. That was funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
I know we're getting toward the end. Real quick, I wanted to ask everybody what they thought about the Morbius trailer.
Ooh, I did a video on it. I like the way it looks. I'm optimistic. I think, I don't know what the implications are of having the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the back and also having Michael Keaton's Vulture. I mean, are they, because this is the studio, this is the Venom, the Sony part of it. so it's not the
And
MCU.
Vulture.
Yet it sort of kind of is.
It
or
is
might
the
be.
MCU. It is
Yeah.
now. Sony forced their hand.
I'm really
Remember
excited to see the crossover.
they were having that
I
fight
think
where they
Jared
didn't
Leto
know
looks great.
they didn't know if Spider-Man was going to be in the MCU anymore, and they were having
Right.
that kind of battle. This I think was the compromise,
Yeah, this is
allowing
like the
Sony
answer.
to create MCU movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because that's clearly Toby's Spider-Man in the back. I actually did a video where I found a shot of Toby. It was a promotional shot they used for the
From the PS4.
Spider-Man PS4 video game.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it wasn't the PS4 suit. It was the introduction of Toby's suit as like one of the skins you could buy in like a DLC pack. And it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that they're advertising in the game, and that is the same shot they used for the little background, the spray painted image of Spider-Man in the Morbius trailer. So yeah, I mean that's clearly Toby. So I don't know. What kind of Spider-Man, what they're doing with the Spider-Verse.
I guess they didn't have.
I'll take Toby. They want to bring
guess
Toby
they
back.
didn't have the rights to the Stark suit.
Well, they have the rights to use Vulture though, Keaton. So I don't know if that's the case. I think they're trying to build in a Spider-Verse. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
I think it was intentional to use that Toby suit.
I am interested to see Multiverse of Madness. I think that's going to answer a lot of questions. I think they're going to use that for X-Men and the Sonyverse and all that. I think
Bear, share my screen there. I picked up the
didn't
picture.
they say that Olivia Munn was going to return in Doctor Strange as Psylocke?
I love the Munn.
As Psylocke? Well, they made
There
a
it is.
reference to Psylocke's character being shown in what was it? Was it oh god, one of the last movies that came out? She was in the background. Was it
X-Men
Spider-Man?
Apocalypse?
No. It was one of the Marvel movies, like Endgame or Spider-Man. It was one of the recent Marvel movies, and they say there's a character that it could be Psylocke, but it wasn't Olivia Munn in the role. But they were advertising that article with Olivia Munn's picture.
Give me more Munn.
Yeah, but here's the
that.
comparison. This is the promo shot they used for the Spider-Man 4 video game of the introduction of Toby's suit, and then here's the picture that they obviously cropped a little bit, but it's the same exact. You can see
It's a reverse image.
Yeah.
Look
at the hands. It's the same exact image. So this is the one they used right there. I found this just skimming through Spider-Man images. I was like, oh my gosh, that's it.
I think it was quickly
look
done.
What Tyler Mongo says.
Yeah, no doubt, Tyler. It's the loading shot from the PS4 game.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, pretty positive that's it. And then they have the murderer here. So what does that mean? The Toby's version is a murder. There's a lot of things going on in just this image in that trailer.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man killed Mysterio, supposedly.
Right, but this is not Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Although there's a rumor that Jake Gyllenhaal will be in this movie, so Mysterio might not be dead.
I hope not, because I actually enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal's portrayal.
Yeah, he was good.
Mysterio. Yeah,
very good. I liked that movie. I thought I liked it better than the first one, actually.
I did like that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know this is interesting, and I also think Jared Leto looks awesome in the role. I think he looks better than Joker. I think this role is more suited for him.
I like Jared Leto. I don't like all the roles that he's ever been in, but I like him as an actor, and I've liked him since Lord of War.
Oh yeah,
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, yep, Lord of War. Yep.
And people give Suicide Squad Joker shit, and I get it. But I like that Joker, and I accept him as the Joker, because that's not the original Joker. It's set up for in the
yes.
In the film
think
before
he's Jason Todd.
He's yes.
I think he is too. Yeah.
Right. So I get it. And plus you would need a younger Joker with a Harley Quinn. Unless. Yeah. So I mean, I think he looked great in that in that trailer. I also like vampires. Like Sporking is, I think he's also a person that likes vampires. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know it's going to be scientific and not like magic, dark magic, vampirism, which is my favorite. My preferred is the more mystical vampirism, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Because in the comics thing, he's a scientist searching for a blood. It wasn't a magical kind of thing or a vampire bite.
And I'm fine with
in
that.
the comics, he was called the living vampire because they weren't allowed to have an actual vampire.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay, I didn't know that. They wouldn't allow them to create like a vampire character.
Well, there's a lot of dark characters in Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
they weren't allowed to have any like undead things because of the comic code.
Was this during the what do they call it?
And it was only later until the comic code.
Right, that was the PG era of comics, right? When they had all that censorship garbage. After
now
the
in
Golden
DC,
Age.
they always had Simon Grundy, who was like an undead sort of zombie.
But that was probably later.
But that was I'm not sure when they.
Grundy was probably later after.
Maybe.
I want to see some Killer Frost on
It's
screen.
like Ghost Rider had to come out later.
Yeah, Killer Frost. Well, you get her in
Flash.
CW.
Well, that's one of the reasons I like the CW, though. That is not the Killer Frost that I remember.
Yeah,
but I'm okay with it. That iteration, I'm fine with it. I get to see Killer Frost. He's one of my favorite bad guys. So
it turns into a good
right.
A hero. But I also like that. Yeah, they did a pretty good job with. But I do like her as a villain.
Hero.
And Tyler says mentions Carnage, and if they bring Carnage in, it's got to be rated R. You cannot do Carnage a PG-13 movie.
Carnage in Venom. Was it Venom? With the end, you see Woody Harrelson in
I know.
Jail, and he's Carnage. So
right, but you can't. That can't be PG-13. Carnage is rated R, man.
I think Tom Holland is gonna. I think Tom Holland will be better if he appears in the Venom movies. He'll probably feel more like Spider-Man.
I'm okay with Tom Holland. I'm not the biggest fan of his
Iron
iteration of Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm not that big on it.
Yeah.
I'm Tobey Maguire, man. That's my Spider-Man, and we'll see if they bring. Hopefully they do some kind of Spider-Verse. They have Tobey in there because that would really appease many of us.
Well, the only thing that I was looking forward to with the whole Sony and Marvel fight over was if they get him out of Marvel, the MCU, then he can't use any of the Stark tech. So we might get like an actual Spider-Man that we're used to. Someone who has to rely on his own intellect and his own
right, and that's the problem.
Well, rumor is that Mr. Fantastic is going to be his new mentor.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Well, I can see that. He's very much like a Tony kind of character.
Yeah.
He just needs to he needs to step out on his own though. He doesn't need he's had a mentor already. He's I guess he's still young technically, but he's been through it. He's a boy genius. He should be able to figure this out on his own.
Well, that's one thing that we haven't really gotten out of the cinematic versions of Spider-Man is how much of a genius Peter is. We didn't even get that in the Raimi.
Yeah, it's true. Not even in the Raimi.
Right.
We don't get. He's a master scientist as well.
Right. So that's what I like. The last Raimi, was it the last Raimi movie? They started introducing. I can't think of the guy's name. The doctor who becomes.
Lizard. Yeah. Tom Connors.
Right. They were going in that direction, and we didn't get
the TV show.
No, the movie.
No, the movie.
We didn't get that next installment, which would have had him.
Right.
And, there's
ironically, we did get him in the next installment, but it was the Andrew.
Oh, I don't acknowledge those
version that they brought in the Lizard.
Yeah, we don't speak about those.
Yeah.
I like the direction that they were going in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
In the what?
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Sarah Connor. Are you talking Terminator?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
The
know.
TV show.
Oh,
You never
the
watched
TV
that?
show. No, yeah, I watched the first season of it because it had the girl from was that the one that had the girl from Serenity?
Yep.
Yeah, she
Yep.
was.
Firefly.
Chris
Firefly.
Cross says
Yeah, Firefly.
Spider-Man was the inventor of the Iron Spider suit, not Tony Stark. I didn't like the
Yes.
idea of having Peter so relevant to Tony or relying on
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah, totally.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, he made all his own tech. Spider-Man can
Yeah.
make all his own tech. He's a genius.
Well, they
Doesn't
had
need to
to, right, but they had to do something to fit him in, and they really wanted him, in Avengers Endgame and all that. And I understand that, but who was it? Tyler said earlier they should have had the MCU Spidey start off in college if they wanted to go that route. Yeah, that would have made more sense.
Or they could have just had, he already was introduced. They could have had him just in Tony's lab. He could have been using Tony's stuff, but making it himself. They could have had him just fooling around making his own stuff, in the Avengers lab or whatever. But it could have still been him making it, so you can see that he made this himself.
Last
What was that?
Say that again.
they did that in. Can
They
you hear
did
me?
that where?
Is that in the last one? Is that
The
what you
last
said?
one, I think so.
Well,
Connections kind of.
yeah, I think he's referring to the plane
Yeah,
Happy had him in.
on the jet.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The plane.
Yeah, it seems that CJ seems to have a little bit of a delay. He's not exactly hearing us when we're speaking. He's hearing it like 2 seconds later.
Okay.
I've been noticing this lately with his connection.
Yeah,
Where
it's
he's
a
at.
slight delay.
It's that Atlantic time zone, CJ.
Takes a second or two to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did kind of toy with that idea a little bit when he's on the plane, but it should have been like that. Should be from going forward now. It should be the focal point is that he can make his own stuff. He is smart enough to create his own tech and not have to rely on.
And give us Mary Jane.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, give us Mary.
This MJ is not named MJ, although they call her MJ, so that's really confusing.
I know. Now,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the rumor is that he'll meet her in college. And
But they're also going to call her MJ. Why introduce another character and call her MJ though? That's the confusing
the
thing.
MCU was trying to virtue signal with that. They were race swapping a character, and they hoped nobody would notice.
Yeah.
That's what they did, and they got called on it, and they're backpedaling. And now, listen, I actually like her.
Yeah, she's good.
I like that
like her
character, and I like the actress. I like the attitude. I think she's good. Like, I'm not that upset about it. It's just what really upsets me is why you are racing another redhead.
Yeah, right. That's another redhead that they're. Yeah.
Race.
Yeah, like what the hell? Oh well.
Oh, Bear dropped out.
Did
Again.
it again. Yeah, and
The dialect demons are striking.
Yeah, no shit. And Tyler Mango also says Aunt May discovering his identity was ignored and played for a stupid joke. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, also the whole Uncle Ben thing hasn't really. It's been more about Tony Stark than Uncle Ben.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's
they could have easily fixed that by having a photo of Uncle Ben in the background.
I think they use his is it his bag or something that he takes with him? That's the only
Yeah,
reference.
It's
Far from
barely
home.
even.
Yeah, it's barely.
Well, the
Yeah.
Uncle,
And
the
then
Uncle
it gets destroyed, and he doesn't even care.
right.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, he was a white man. They didn't need him. Well, the Uncle Ben story is kind of like Bruce's parents. You kind of already.
Oh yeah, we've
know.
seen it a million times.
Yeah, you already know. But
True.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I guess that's why it hasn't bothered me that much. It's like we've seen it a million times now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they could have at least have a reference, like a photo or
I agree. Yeah.
him
I agree.
going to the grave or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I
Daniel
don't know about any
LaRusso.
of you. But when I look at all those Spider-Man movies, the only time I ever felt like it was Spider-Man was in Civil War. That's really the only time it ever felt like Spider-Man to me in any of those movies.
Yeah, his scene in Civil War was great. That fight scene. That was
the intro scene.
Spider sense. He was using his web shooters, the way that you would expect him to use them. Yeah.
And that was all just the stuff that I guess he got the suit from Tony, but the web shooters, I think, were his because they showed him using it, in that like street footage, street cam footage. Yeah.
Right.
I know what you were going to say there, though, Stephen, that even Daniel LaRusso honors the Miyagi, right?
Right. He goes to Miyagi's grave. Yeah.
Yep. Totally. Yeah. I mean, that show has done everything right to honor what's come before, and yet keep it new, keep it fresh, and advance it, introduce a new cast while, not forgoing everything that you love.
And the
popular in the first place.
The 80s ridiculousness of that final fight scene at the end of the second season.
Yeah.
That was 80s ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah, the whole school fight thing. Yeah. They just keep it true to like the tone of what made it great. They don't change it. They just advance it. They just keep it fresh, but they don't they don't swap anything out and change anything. I mean, they do it in a way that makes sense, even though the characters kind of change, roles from the original. It's like Daniel's kind of more of the antagonist sort of in the first season, and Johnny's kind of like the good guy you're rooting for. But it makes sense based on their characters and their history. Like, that makes sense.
And then you have the foreshadowing of the third season and the first season. Mm-hmm. They have that scene in the bar where they're both just having a drink.
Yes. I love that scene.
While
they're
you guys
talking about Allie, who, that last scene of season 2 where Johnny's calling her and throws the phone. And you're like, oh man, I can't wait. That's going to add a whole nother dimension to the show.
I want to see Elizabeth.
This just popped up.
Yeah. Bring a crease in. Oh,
Captain Marvel 2 gets a new writer and director. I would like to state right now here on the Fourth Wave that I would personally like to bang the bitch out of Brie Larson. All right, go ahead.
And that was word from the Steven. Yep. The Steven.
Impossible.
We're gonna start calling him the Steven.
Who is it? Who's the new writer and director?
You could have her head hanging out of a.
I didn't know that we cared enough to look. I just put this up for shits and giggles.
She's writing, directing, and acting in it.
Hold on, Tommy.
You could have her head hanging out of a Nova car door, banging it off that rail of where the door runner is, and you would still knock all the common sense out of it. It wouldn't happen.
Wow. So Marvel 2 gets a new writer.
Megan McDonnell.
Who is Megan McDonnell?
New writer with WandaVision scribe.
Okay.
But has she done anything else? We haven't even seen WandaVision yet. I'm going to IMDb her right now.
Good shit.
I've seen some leaks for WandaVision, and it's going to introduce Sword.
Who?
Sword. It's like a shield.
Okay.
It's like S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's for mutants and supernatural.
Man, that was pretty damn original. S.H.I.E.L.D. and Sword. Who is Megan McDonnell? This is the question, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm looking her up, but
Megan McDonnell and JW. That is the question.
I don't think this is the same Megan McDonnell. There's only one that pops up as director. But
yeah, I'm not finding nothing either.
It doesn't even say WandaVision. Okay, let me look up WandaVision then, because that should give.
She'll charge me for harassment, Tyler. What? Listen, when I show her this tube steak, she'll beg. All right. I got my DNA results back. All right, Tyler, and I have 1% North African, and it's all in my dick. Go ahead.
The show is going off the rails quick.
All right.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. All right, this is Fourth Wave proper.
Wanda.
I don't even see her listed in the WandaVision. I'm on WandaVision's IMDb.
Yeah, I am too.
And it says series directed by Matt Shankman. It doesn't even mention her. Writer, no. Producer, no. I don't even see her name here. Interesting.
Gotta look at the full cast.
Yeah, I'm looking at the whole sound department, stunts. Series
McDonald will write the script. With it further reported, the sequel will have a new director on
They're
board.
also in. Oh,
Details
sorry.
include that Captain Marvel 2 will be set up in the present day, while the first movie was set back in the 90s. Regarding the new director, it's reported the original Captain Marvel's director,
Not
Anna
listed.
Roden and Ryan Fleck, who also co-wrote the first movie, won't be returning. Ooh, but may stay involved with the MCU on the Disney Plus series, with Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige seeking a female director for Captain Marvel 2. Not that that fucking matters. Why does that matter? Why are you hiring someone based on gender? That's sexism.
That
I
is
do not understand that.
Yep.
Do not understand.
Why
Get
not
the best
hire
person for the job?
him or her on their merits?
Right. If the best person for the job is a woman, so be it. I don't give a shit.
Tyler's
Do it
comment.
for yeah to check that box. Yeah.
Tyler's
What Tyler
comment.
say?
So it says, so WandaVision, it's only listing series directed by Matt Shackman as 6 episodes. So if the series is longer than 6 episodes, they just haven't, I guess they haven't listed all of the directors yet. If it's only 6 episodes, then I don't see her name listed here. So I don't know. But I don't. Do you guys have you heard? Is it just 6 episodes? Actually, the whole cast, everyone listed, is just listed as 6 episodes. So I don't see her name anywhere here. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I did a search for her name in the full cast, and it didn't find nothing.
Yeah. No. So I'm not sure where they're
Stars
getting
Paul
that
Beatty, Kat Dennings, Katherine Hahn.
Yeah, Paul Bettany. So he's Vision. So is this a prequel? I guess show then, because Vision dies.
Right. It's probably a
He's not
prequel
brought
then.
back. I mean, unless they somehow bring him back using Wakanda tech, I don't know. But as far as I know, he died. Yeah, some of these, like Black Widow. What do you guys think of that? It looks like a cool movie, but it's kind of anticlimactic when you already know where it goes and she's dead.
Right.
There's nowhere to take. So do I really? The movie should have come out a few years ago before you saw where her character went, because it's hard to
the rumor is there's going to be a mutant in the movie, so maybe they were waiting.
I mean, I'm gonna go see it because I like ScarJo.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
Go see the movie.
I'm not as invested.
I wish that she had been able to fake a Russian accent. That'd have been great. But hey, there's little nitpicks.
Didn't she do that in the second Iron Man though? She faked an accent, or was that Elizabeth Olsen?
No, she does. She does when she's like being tortured. I think in that one scene where she's in the chair. I think she has.
Oh yeah, she did. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do it like my future ex-wife Elizabeth Olsen. She does it right. I will go see it. It is a bit late. It should have been movies ago.
Yep.
And
it feels like a Band-Aid.
I think there's a difference though. Okay, when you talk about doing a series that with Luke in it, pre the sequel trilogy, I'm not really interested in that because you've already destroyed him. You know what I mean? But with Black Widow, she ended on a high note. Like great character. So a prequel, I'll go see it. I'll be interested in it because where the character ends, but the character was never destroyed before the end. And
right, true. She went out a hero who,
kind of like Darth Vader in the prequels.
Yeah,
you know where it ends.
Yeah, but his backstory is so thing. I mean, I don't know. It's a little different. I think
it is a little
with
different.
That.
And depending on who you talk to, Lethal Lightning, the stories leading up to Darth Vader, I think, are important and enlightening as to how he got there. The scripts, the prequel scripts, that's a whole other story.
Well, in the same way, the Cassian Andor movie, like that, or the TV show, I don't need to see that. I don't really care about that show.
Praza is on the job. Says that McDonald produced and co-directed a 2016 movie called Meet Cute. Meet Cute. All right, I'm going to look that up now and see.
Why do you keep getting these no-name people?
Well, that's fine. I mean, you could get new people, bring new people.
Yeah. I'm all for getting new people and new, fresh, director is that you don't want the same old people doing the same thing, and you got to keep it
2016.
young, thriving. But but you do want someone who has a little bit of credentials, I guess. I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe she'll be good. Maybe
Here
she'll
we
turn
go.
the franchise around, and we're all gonna love Captain Marvel.
She doesn't have many credits at all.
Okay, so this is.
Is
That's
there,
the first one I pulled up. Yeah, I pulled that up first, but then I didn't see WandaVision, so I figured it must be another Megan McDonald because
Now,
there's a few listed as actresses too there.
what are the comments? I want to see fan comments of this movie. That's what I want to see. I'm looking for buzzwords. I'm looking for, this movie is so inclusive, or some other bullshit. Right. That's what I want to see.
Triggering words.
I want to find out if it doesn't have any of that in it, then there might be a chance.
Right.
I'm getting Wikipedia.
Well, they might just attack Scarlet because they've done it before. Scarlett Johansson. They've attacked her.
They did, and you know what? ScarJo being in a movie about a trans person would probably have given more people may have seen it, and it probably would have allowed people to understand the issues a little bit more because it was being played by a well-known and well-respected actress. But they didn't want that.
Didn't Scarlett Johansson also kind of come out in defense of fans and
Yes, she did.
and anti SJW stuff? I think.
All right,
I about that.
I have some info about the Mandalorian.
Hold on, wait. Hold on now before we go forward. Meet Cute 2016. Let's see. Storyline. When Riley unexpectedly kisses Evan, a man she's just met at a friend's wedding. The attraction between the two of them is undeniable, but decidedly complicated. With a nod to the B in LGBTQ, this is a groundbreaking romantic comedy with the complexities of relationships and the fluidity of desire. SJ W.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you reading the IMBD or something else?
IMBD. The genre is short comedy drama. Plot words: gay man kisses a woman. Oh God. Okay, where's the ratings? I mean, where's the comments? User reviews. All right, let's look at the user reviews. User reviews say. There are none. What? Are you kidding me? There's no user.
Yeah, there are none.
There are
no
none.
ranking. There's no rank for her at all. There's no rank.
0 reviews.
And you go to her movie. There's Meet Cute has a 6.8.
So they didn't let people review it, or what the?
Put a link of that in the private chat. I think you're looking at something else that I'm not looking at.
Oh, wait. Now I've got another one, Meet Cute 2016. What the fuck?
Another one? Did you go to the wrong website? You know, the one that we go to?
The right website here. I'll send you the link. It's maybe
you didn't go to that Kryptonite website, by chance, did you?
I didn't head to Instagram. Okay, here. There you go. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't see any. I don't see any reviews. That kind of scares me now. If there's no reviews, how am I supposed to know it? It says 8.1 on this website. No reviews. What? Okay, let me look at user reviews, trivia, cast, and crew. There's got to be more. Where's the critic reviews? You know what? Let me go to the shilliest of shills. What am I thinking? Let me go to Rotten Tomatoes. Guaranteed, if it's SJW, Rotten Tomatoes will let us know how wonderful it is.
Oh, yeah.
Tomatoes.
Danny Mac, Brendy Green, Ryan S. Williams. I ain't heard none of these people.
All right, where's the Meet Cute? All right. And, all right, open this week. Where is it? Is it not on here? Cute 2000. No,
yeah, this is
No results found. What?
This is a different one. It's not Megan McConnell.
Yeah, I don't even see it on. I don't even see it on Rotten Tomatoes. What, am I retarded? Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bad word. Oh. All right, this is weird. Is it like an indie film or something?
Yeah, I think that's what this is, and this isn't by that other person. This is a different movie.
Another Ryan Johnson, probably. A nobody, basically.
Because Meet Cute 2016 that I'm looking at, that screen shared, is by Megan McDonald.
Let me look at it.
She's the co-director.
Is there any reviews?
There's 6.8.
No, I know. I mean, yeah, I want to see what.
There's 25 reviews.
Well, I want to see. I want to read them. Obviously,
I will copy and put this in the private chat.
Oh, God damn it. See, look at this. This is crazy. We have to vet if somebody is an SJW or not so that we can know what we're expecting. This is awful. I don't see the.
Do they have a Twitter?
I say, yeah, that's exactly what I would think, but I wouldn't know where. There's got to be 100,000.
Yeah.
Reviews.
20% were 5. Wow.
Yeah, that's not telling me shit. I don't know.
Yeah, this
well, as the news breaks on Twitter, someone will probably end up
that's true.
Hashtagging her or adding her.
This looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, this looks like mumbo jumbo to me.
Let's see. There was a plot summary. There is no plot summary. Add synopsis. All right. Wait.
I mean, I don't think Brie Larson would allow anyone to, write and direct her next Captain Marvel movie who wasn't in line with her way of thinking.
Well, unless she's learned her lesson. Now, remember, she came out on Jimmy Kimmel in that fucking outfit. You know what I mean? Like that's not exactly her line of thinking. She's supposed to be buttoned down SJW.
She's the win-back fans.
And then here she is, flaunting her fucking breasts everywhere. Look, this is the way I think about it. Disney Lucasfilm says the Fandom Menace. They know we exist. They pay attention to us and what we're saying. Damn well Marvel's paying attention. If one branch of Disney is paying attention, then they all are. There have been rumors that Brie Larson's image is being remade because of all the bad press from her sexist, racist comments. So, I don't know.
She's kind of a hypocrite if you look at her past work.
She's absolutely a hypocrite. The Perceivers theme. Megan McDonald also did a movie called The Perceivers in 2015. How would you perceive the world if you knew the government was always watching? The Perceivers is a dystopian thriller about a young woman who is forced to leave everything she knows behind in order to save herself and uncover the truth about the mysterious disappearance of her sister. Eden City is a futuristic society ruled by a brutal authority. The Perceivers, who monitor and control citizens with optic nerve technology. After her sister goes away, a prodigy to the enemy of the state, Agatha Tiro is forced to flee the city to avoid deactivation with her best friend Duncan. But how can they escape from a world that is always watching? Okay. It looks as if we don't have a synopsis for this title yet. No, I guess not. All right. Now I'm interested. Now I think I have to kind of check these movies out and see what the hell's going on.
Right.
Let's see. Plot keywords: technology, surveillance, dystopia. Budget was 23 million estimated. 23,000? Is that 23,000? 23,000. Indie film. She's an indie film creator. Production company, University of Southern California, School of Cinematic Arts. See more.
Remember, Ryan Johnson was an indie director as well.
Yep, that's true.
So I don't know. I don't know who this person is. We spent way too much time trying to figure it out. So it has a 5.2. This movie wasn't that well received.
And those indie directors usually hate the big budget films and try to destroy them.
Well, when they get those big budget films, they don't know what they're doing. Oh, okay. You know what? I can't say that. The only one I really have any attachment to is Ryan. Yeah.
I'm searching Twitter articles. Just typed in Captain Marvel 2 new director, and no one has like hashtag or added. I mean, there's people that mention her by name, but I haven't found any like link to her. That she has a Twitter account or anything.
All right, let's try this another way.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can try this another way. Let's see.
Much people mentioning it, but not one
An
reference
SJW
to her
without a Twitter account? Jesus.
It's very hard to believe.
The world is coming to an end.
A bunch of the news articles, news sources are, saying Marvel looking for a female director, Marvel hoping to find female director for Marvel. Very sexist.
Megan McDonald, Santa Monica, California. Let's see. I don't know if this is her. I'm actually not sure. She's a business leader, entrepreneur. No, I don't. Nope, that's not her.
That's what you were talking about? The rebranding of her image? While she's brandishing?
Oh, yeah. That's what
Man, I would brand those. I would.
That's the
one.
There's some past images of her.
Oh yeah, man, she's done some sexy photos and stuff. But she's been an actress.
Look at that. There we go.
God damn! I wonder how much she paid for those.
But let me guess, Steven, she got the wrong face on right there, right?
She's got the wrong face on.
Oh,
No.
yeah, you'll see it later.
Hold on, I'm like.
I get it. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see a LinkedIn profile for her.
Guinea Pig Menace strikes again.
Director. What the hell was the name of that name? It's Meet Cute.
Yeah, Bear, the Supergirl outfit does remind you of Captain Marvel's suit. You're right.
It hides everything.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. The colors, the shape of it, the colors of it, it's very similar.
The spandex clings to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I found one.
Super suits cling to everything. In the comics, you could see tendons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I found it.
Well, yeah. Why would she need such a padded
I've
suit?
always wondered about that. Like, how do superheroes fight crime in the winter?
Apparently, they freeze their cojones off.
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Ben Smith says a short film I wrote and co-directed with Megan McDonald is out today on September 19th, 2017. It has 14 likes. And yeah, I don't see any connection to this Megan McDonald.
No, she must not have a Twitter. Amazingly.
I see a Megan McDonald Twitter, but
I don't think that's her.
I don't know. It's protected.
Yeah, it's just crazy. All these people are reporting on it, and not one person has given her a Twitter account or like added her. It's just names her. No hashtags, no ads.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh, see, TCS Management Services, meet Megan McDonald. Got a video here. Owner of TCS Management. No, I don't think that's the right one. I don't know, guys. I'm trying, but I don't see a damn thing.
Yeah, not much on her.
Yeah. Apparently, Chris Persia says that Brie was flaunting her new breasts.
It seemed that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has no picture on IMDb.
Well,
Yeah,
we're just gonna have to find out.
we're gonna find out. All right.
Basically nobody.
Yeah, they picked a random.
How did you get this big?
They picked a random street bum at will and said, "Do you have a vagina? Can you hold a camera? Okay, we're gonna have you direct the movie. Come on over here." God.
Right this way. Right this
Do
way.
you have a vagina? That's the most important qualification. And now we don't care about talent. Your resume, but don't give us your resume.
Right.
No resume. She's got one thing.
Got a badge?
That she's
Awesome.
done lately.
What's your direct Captain Marvel 2? Yeah, people hated the last one. It made $1 billion because we put it between Avengers and Endgame, but we can't pull that dog and pony trick again. So we actually need to try and produce something good. So we need someone who's completely out of the mainstream and has only done 2 bad indie films. Do you have a vagina? Great, you're in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this next one does.
Did they get their operation manual from the Looney Tunes?
I don't know.
Yeah, they got the brainy what do you call it? Drawing a blank here. The brainy Animaniacs or something like that. Animaniacs.
You know what?
They would run things better because apparently they must have slipped them a trick operating manual and they don't know it.
They might be setting Megan up for a fall. Think about this. If they hire some indie director who hasn't really done anything, and then they do Captain Marvel 2, and the movie does bad because it's not positioned in the right place, it's not, you know what I mean? If it's done bad, then they can say, well, maybe we chose an inexperienced person. But on the flip side of that, they're not going to, Kathleen Kennedy's been doing a terrible job, and they haven't fired her.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? I don't know, guys. But I'm going to go look at Brie Larson's cleavage again. I feel like
That's how you go blind.
I said, oh, you know what? Then I'm going to look at Elizabeth Olsen. There she is. Hi, Liz.
What's that movie she was in? Tanner Hall.
Oh God.
Don't show Steven that movie.
Hey, Steven, how's your hand? Is it all right?
You know what? I don't have any kind of immortal problems with it at the moment. I'm doing all right.
That's a good segue there, buddy.
Yeah. So, do we have any final topics? Because
yeah, Mandalorian.
All right. What's up with the Mandalorian?
It's from Disney.
Is it going to be woke?
Janina.
Oh, there's also the
Gavankar.
Clone Wars. There's also the Clone Wars news.
Yeah.
Acknowledging her rumored involvement in season 2 of The Mandalorian on Twitter. This is from the Star Wars leaks.
Janina Gavankar.
Janina, is that Janina?
Janina
Gavankar.
There we go.
Yeah, and
Janina Gavankar.
I thought you guys were getting ready to break into the Laverne and Shirley.
basically, you'll have to ask Dave Filoni on Twitter. She goes.
So she was a character in Battlefront 2, and they're going to bring her into the Mandalorian season 2.
Well, let's see here.
Like they're as the I can't think of her name because I didn't even care about that character, nor do I play her on Battlefront.
Oh, the head of the Mandalorian.
Right.
Oh, didn't they already have an actress?
I don't know.
Karen?
Yeah, I think they already have someone. This is going to be someone else. Because whoever this is already played whatever her role in Battlefront 2 is. That's what they're saying is she's going to play the same role in Mandalorian.
Right
Because
there.
Battlefront 2 takes place around the same time as Mandalorian.
Yes.
It's after the fall of
Ivan?
the Empire.
Yeah.
So it coincides.
And
As Luke is going after, he's on a search to find Jedi artifacts and Sith artifacts.
Battlefront 2 also goes into the future, into sequel trilogy territory.
Yes, right.
Yeah. With a much better storyline than the sequel trilogy.
I know they should just get the video game story writers to come up with these movie storylines because they're oftentimes better.
Brad, you're over the Mando hypnosis? F Disney. Yeah, I feel you, brother.
But we do have Clone Wars Season 7 coming out February 21st.
Whoa. Who is Cleo Bennett? Whoa. Who is that?
This woman here is Janina.
Janina looks
right.
Any name that rhymes with vagina and has a look like that is fine. But
a new ex-wife.
I need to see. Oh God, who is Cleo Bennett? What the? She's all right.
She looks familiar.
She does.
She's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay, cool.
I thought
Is
so.
this the season
Clancy.
2 lineup?
Yep.
Because wait, stop there. Bosk. You see that? Look at that middle row, far right. Bosk. They're bringing Bosk in.
Oh, that's badass. I would definitely would see
Bosk
Bosk.
is going to be in it.
Duck Fisney.
Oh, Afra. That's who Chloe is. She's playing Dr. Afra. Bring Dr. Afra into it.
Yeah, because isn't she like half Asian or something? And that's
She looks
they
like
wanna
it. Oh,
check
yeah,
that
Dr. Afra.
box.
Yes, she is.
They
Yeah,
want to check. Yeah, they want to check
Mom
that
Martha?
box.
Look at that. Mom Martha?
Which one?
Right there,
Mon
yeah.
Mothma?
Martha's.
Oh, Mon Mothma's going to be in it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what they do, how they can fuck up these characters.
Well, I've got hope. I mean, they did a pretty good job.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah,
Blur.
Clancy Brown is the blur.
There can be only one. I love Clancy Brown.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Duck Fisney.
Well,
Yeah.
Bill Burr is the fourth in the lineup, so you know he's going to play a significant
Yeah, he's coming
character.
back.
That's good.
I like him.
He was good. I like this character. Chloe Bennett.
Steve Bradley. I ain't Baxter. I am unfamiliar with this guy.
Yeah, but Bosk.
Does he have the chops to pull off a Bosk?
No, he's in makeup and just has to sound like a lizard type creature.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you guys think of that
Bosk
Clone
from the
Wars
Clone Wars
trailer?
Yeah, the Clone Wars trailer looks very good. You get to see Ahsoka and Maul having a duel finally, which I'm looking forward to.
They also have Kanan Jarrus.
Yeah, they show Kanan, a little kid. Well, I'm guessing that's Kanan because it looks like it's his master there.
Yeah,
Throning
Yeah.
Kanan.
So
they inserted a Disney character.
basically, The Mandalorian. It's one of those. It's balancing on a pin, and which way it goes, it's hard to say.
Boobs would help.
Yes, it would, but Fisney won't do that.
No, I don't expect it to. Well, they just they just hide dicks inside their cartoons. That's all they do. They have a dong fetish. I've been on this show too long, Bear. I can hardly contain myself. I'm trying to be fourth wave proper. I really am.
I'm becoming the filth
Yeah,
wave.
the filth wave is when Final and Scott aren't around.
No, I think we're pretty safe. It's after.
It's because I showed them Instagram.
It's 7:24 p.m.
Instagram. I've already lost children at Instagram. I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Well, what do you guys think of that Clone Wars?
I haven't seen the trailer yet, to be honest. So I can't.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy that we got Maul and Ahsoka fighting each other. I really love the way that it looks like it's Rex and a bunch of his squad that all have like the Ahsoka face paint, so to speak, on their masks, on their helmets. I think that looks awesome.
There's a couple of clones from Episode 3 as well.
What's that?
There's a couple of clones from Episode 3 that showed up in the background of that trailer.
Yeah. I think Cody might be in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward. And the Siege of Mandalore story of how that falls, how Maul loses control. Mandalore.
Mhm.
Seeing Ahsoka and Anakin again, and it leads up right to it's supposed to end right where kind of Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine's just taken captive, so that's where it ends, which is where Revenge of the Sith opens up with them trying to save him. So, it's hopefully be a nice segue. I'm just happy that they're giving a proper finale to the show. I just hope I hope Disney has let them do their thing.
Well,
because they
if
had a little
they're
more.
introducing canon, I'm not sure they're letting them do their
No,
thing.
I think that's just a little Easter egg they just thrown in there.
Well, I'm
to show they
myself.
share the same time
I'm
period.
looking forward to not watching it.
I got you. You know what I'm looking forward to? All right, take the R word that we don't say and put and replace Rome and Mance with that. Okay, and I want to see that Mance with the Palpatine kids. I want to see how the Palpatine kids. I want to see that. That's what I want to see. Who actually slept with Palps?
Sly Moore.
Oh man, I think I'm
Helping with
allergic to
Sly
that.
Moore.
I think I'm allergic to that.
Yeah.
Just made me sneeze. Yeah.
What?
That's what I want to see.
Whatever
I think
Steve's mentioning, I think I'm allergic to it.
that would be an interesting story. That kind of a Mance, a forced Mance. That sounds real Disney.
The more you talk about that, Stephen, the more I want to have Christmas cards printed up with so and so's face all over it for you.
Oh, God, look,
Well,
man.
I saw you mentioning about the Filoni not listening to George for like the scripts and all that, Tommy.
Yeah, that's just
Like
nonsense.
the lore.
It's just, well, Filoni he took certain liberties with everything that George had laid down when he did the first Clone Wars series, and then he expanded on their divergence from it when he did Rebels. And
Filoni wasn't able to do anything on Clone Wars that George hadn't. George was still overseeing everything,
Right?
And had to give final okay.
He wanted Ahsoka to die. George wanted. There are quotes.
Yeah, but that's still he still gave the AO. Maybe Filoni talked him out of that. Well, no, because that was Rebels. So George was not. Yeah, but they did that on Rebels. But that's different than Clone Wars.
Yeah, but Filoni did things.
No, he wanted
he wanted
him to die in Clone Wars.
There was things stated where George didn't really like some of the things that Filoni did with that show. There were certain things that apparently George was overseeing, but George didn't sit there and put a stamp of approval on everything. That's why he hired somebody like Filoni to do the work for him. He set the guidelines out, and then Filoni took some of those guidelines and just kind of bent them a bit and changed what George had set down. It's not like George was sitting there looking over his shoulder the whole time saying, "Oh yeah, that's good, that's good." That's why he hired that guy.
The major decisions, like they were going to bring Darth Bane and Revan into the Mortis episodes, and Filoni was almost going to pull the trigger. And the night before they had to make the decision, George called him and said, "You know what? I've decided. Let's not do that side again."
Did you guys realize that Whoopi is going to be on the Picard season 2?
No, I did not. Oh, that airs tomorrow or tonight, or
wasn't she?
So, who wants to do a group watch in a yard and then go live after we watch it?
Well, it's on CBS All Access. You have to be paying for the All Access.
I have it. We can watch it, and I'll basically share a screen. We can all watch it.
Yeah,
in a yard, we can all watch it together, and then we can go live.
I haven't watched the other.
Talk about it. Hey, you guys in the chat.
I haven't watched other Star Trek stuff.
You want to partake in a Fourth Wave late edition to talk about the episode that's going to air? It's supposed to air at like what, 1:00?
Yeah, 1:30. I think that's what Nerd Rock
Eastern.
Saying.
Is that Eastern?
I think it's 1:00 our West time. Because I think he said it was like 1:00 or 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah, because basically, we'll watch.
Because it has to be after midnight,
right?
So I think it's like 1:00 or 1:30 the West Coast time. Well, he said Nerd Rock. Gary said he was going live right after the show.
Yeah,
He said he was doing a
he
live
did say
stream right
that.
after the show, no matter what time.
He did say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to check something real quick. Go ahead and continue to talk about Picard and stuff like that. Hey, Chris Persia, is there an article about it?
Yeah, I didn't know Whoopi was gonna. I mean, that does make sense because she was on the Next Generation.
Right.
See, I never watched Next Generation.
Can
I was
someone
more of a Star Wars fan.
can someone find an article on the Whoopi being on Picard season
Leave
2?
it here. Let me take a look real quick.
And I'm gonna find the time for the first episode of Picard tonight or in the morning.
CJ, you've never watched The Next Generation.
No, because I'm just not a Trekkie. I'm more of a Star Wars fan.
Oh man. Yeah, you're one of those guys, huh?
I tried to get in the original series.
It's
but
12:01 midnight.
Oh,
You hear
one?
me? It's 12:01
Yeah.
midnight, and I have all access on Prime.
Damn it, CJ. I never thought that you would be a Trexist. I never thought it was possible.
Okay, they're saying she's not
so
back.
many Star Wars movies here.
Oh, so okay, so she's not in season 1. It says here. I shared the link, Bear. If you want to pull that up, I put in the private chat. But it says that she's not in season 1, but Patrick Stewart was on her show, The View, and officially invited her to be a part of season 2, and she said yes.
Well,
So I guess she won't be.
I don't care if she reprises her role as Guinan, just as long as she doesn't throw any. This is so they don't write her woke.
Yeah,
you know. I don't want to. I want to see Guinan. I don't want to see Whoopi Goldberg's political views. I'll put that out there, right there, like that.
You whip it out there. All right. Well, I need to eat, man. I've had one apple today. It's time to eat.
Yeah, I should get some dinner too.
So yeah,
I haven't
what
eaten.
was I doing?
And the day is already over.
All right, let's see here.
Well, this was a good 3-hour stream.
Yeah.
We did a nice long one.
Yep.
That's what she said.
Very good.
So I set him up. You knock him down.
So basically, 12:01 midnight West Coast time is when that episode's available, and I am looking.
Well, yeah, Bear. If you wanna stream that, we could maybe go live afterwards. If I'm still up and about, then
And you know they have a Prime Video website dedicated just to Prime and not just to all Amazon. That is so cool. Yeah, so that is cool.
Hey, thanks, Tyler. For that's right. Be sure to tune into all these channels Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Hey, thanks for reminding us, guys, out in the chat. Chris Persia, Tyler Mongo. You just gave us something to do. So who's up for a group watch?
Yeah, I might be up for that.
Midnight. CJ?
I like I said, I'm not much of a Trek fan.
You don't want to get in on the fun?
I told you he's a Trexist.
Oh.
Should be ashamed of himself. CJ, let me tell you something.
Shame.
Every day you live in the Trek world. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Because your
Chris
cell
Persia's-
phone that you use, the cell phone you use has been based off Star Trek.
It's very
The
true.
original idea, stuff like that, came from Star Trek. Everything you use in your modern day is Star Trek, buddy.
iPad. Yep.
TVs, LCD screens, all
I'm just
based
waiting
off
for,
of
I'm
Trek.
just waiting for
Now Orville. Now that
try-
I'll watch.
You know, maybe someday we'll have that three-way view screen where it's all one piece in a triangle where it's got a view screen on each end. You know what I'm saying? OG Star Trek, you know? Remember that? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've at least watched a couple episodes of OG.
Let me tell you something. You need to
Sure.
get your very Trexist butt out of the sewer, and you need to start watching some of these episodes. You know what? Start with a newer version. Start with Enterprise. Okay, start with that.
All right, and on that note,
On that note,
oh, I need to go to. I need to go get some meat.
all right. Everybody's
So take us out music.
yeah, taking
Yeah,
us out. And everyone plug your channels in the chat. Or if you want me to do it for you, I can do that for you.
You know where I'm at, guys.
I think they know where we're all at.
Yep.
I'll be on
Regular
Instagram.
watchers here, but
You know who I am.
You know who I am.
Oh, indeed. Aha.
Yeah, go sub the final Death Star. He needs it. Please,
Yeah,
please,
please. Oh my God, please. So sweet.
please go to
Like
final
how that
Death Star.
works.
Yeah,
I
just
can
click
put
on
three
that link
links at
in
once.
the chat. Oh my goodness, he's so
JJ Death Star. He needs some subs. He's about to take over DC.
right. Bringing my wokeness to DC.
He's going to steal from some other creators and leave a bunch of mystery boxes.
I like the idea of Superman giving up his power to raise a kid. I like it. I think I might just steal that for my own. Take that from the CW and put that in my own set of movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a kosher pickle in your back hole. Coming.
Oh shit! Pickling your back. A tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast.
5 times.
How about this? I watch Star Trek if people sub to me.
All right, you heard it here.
Out there.
Indeed.
CJ,
Whoa, what
CJ,
was that?
you
What was
have
that?
to
What was
watch it. I subbed to you a while ago.
My future
Hey,
ex-wife.
Steven, did you realize you're wearing kryptonite?
That's my future ex-wife, Candace. God bless her.
All right. Hail to the Phantom Menace.
Hail the Fandom Menace.
Hail to the fourth way.
And the fourth wheel.
Hail to dinner.
All right. Hail to
Tins
dinner.
of food.
Hail to the guinea pig menace.
Hail.
Hail.
Hail. Good night.
Hail.
Good night, sweetheart.